you!
You're scared. And you should be.
Who are we? Babes! And what do we have? Wrath!
I'm Mina Shirakawa. I used to be a model. I want to put on a big show.
Whoa!
And you're only here because even the feds saw through your bullshit.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome once again to the Saturday Shenanigans, hosted by yours truly, the Renegade J.J. Williams. Hi, guys. Hi, guys. CM Punk drama bullshit to the side. I still consider Hangman the worst AEW champion they've had. First of all, we're going to bring in Walter Cruz.
I said that as a joke when, what's his name, did his promo Monday. He said, I'm from a prestige university. I said he majored in Steiner math.
We've got the Heb man, James Hebert, in the house.
I do really cool and dumb things on the internet.
Right. A lot of shit going on here. A lot of fucking crazy ass shit.
Where is Noah JD? Well, say his name and he appears because we believe in Noah Foster.
Fuck is this intro? It is one of those things where as fans, we do have these desires of what we want to see, but sometimes you can't always get what you want, and there are reasons you truly don't get what you want. I wouldn't even listen to this in Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. What the fuck is this shit? God, rap is whack. Like I said, never been a greater time to be a wrestling fan, and with more companies in a more lucrative spot, in a more comfortable business spot, in a sense of mind, it seems, than ever. Again, WWE is not the only one. It is not the end-all, be-all. So let's go back to the Renegade Wrestling J.J. Williams to get the official word. JJ, speak!
Make sure you tune in every week because you never know who's going to drop in to join the shenanigans. Catboy is in the house.
Hello, my internet family. I say if you want to make them as evil as possible, make them really mad.
We have Mansfield joining the party now. What is going on, Josh?
Like I told no one when we were in Cleveland, him joining JCU was just an unfortunate side effect of my shenanigans towards you, JJ. I know how it can get better, Noah. The panel chooses you.
Shut the fuck up, Josh.
You said that so like.
We got someone to throw back.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Just like how you and I had lunch together the other week.
That was different.
Ladies and gentlemen, the King is here. Say his name and he appears. We believe in King A-Train. There are so many believers in Joe Hendry. The only person on this panel that doesn't believe in Joe Hendry is King A-Train. Tell the world why you do not believe in Joe Hendry.
The reason I do not believe Joe Hendry is he is Fandango 2.0 in a entrance merchant. I rest my case, Your Honor.
Hey! There's nothing wrong with being an entrance merchant. He has some of the best entrances of all time.
Teleporting into the command center, all the way from Angel Grove High, Datilla.
Oh, yeah. I went to the command center on Thursday. I went to Vasquez Rocks, which is where they filmed a lot of episodes. Somebody actually climbed to the very top of those rocks. I made it halfway. I was like, I'm not going up there. Definitely Toni Storm versus Mariah May. That's the one match I probably am looking forward to the most. I really like the story. I'm familiar with All About Eve, so if it plays out that way, I kind of know how this is gonna go.
Say goodnight, Datilla.
Good night.
James, you did say his name. So he shall appear, ladies and gentlemen, the first time on the shenanigans. Jeff Meacham is in the motherfucking house.
Ah! Alright, we're coming in hard with the botch. Alright, fucking hell.
be back. It's good to have an opportunity to talk to the crowd on a Saturday. If you want to have yourself stomach through it, you can go back and watch when the Main Event Mafia took over Impact. That's what James is talking about. So if everybody just joined us, we're talking about people sedating people, attempted murder, boys, and tips. Welcome to Saturday Shenanigans, everybody. Aren't you glad I'm back?
Welcome back, Jim.
Cool.
¿Qué tal? Feliz cumpleaños, Walter, de parte del reptil más fino y la Yesca. Subscribe to Rage of Wrestling on YouTube. Póngase verde.
What is going on, everybody, and welcome to the weekly moderated festivities known as the Saturday Shenanigans. It is I, the host and moderator for the evening, the Renegade of Wrestling, JJ Williams. Hope everybody is having a good evening. Go ahead and we'll start bringing in everybody. No, not going to keep everyone waiting. Everyone out there has been told we have a special guest. We will bring him in momentarily. Let's get the rest of the crew in here. Noah Foster, how are we doing this evening?
Doing well as always on a fine Saturday night. Looking forward to engaging in some wrestling talk, especially with tonight's theme with our guest. I'm looking forward to what comes out of it for both us and for the promotion.
Sounds good. Walter Cruz, how are we doing this evening, good sir? The Rage of Wrestling.
Doing well. Looking forward to talk some wrestling as well. Supporting independent wrestling. As you can see, I got Tiffany on shirt on, so I'm ready to go.
The last but not least, the last member of the core four, if you will, James Hebert, back. How are you doing this evening, brother?
I am good. First of all, can you all hear me good?
We can hear you loud and clear, good sir.
Perfect. Yeah, I am doing good. Good to be back, at least if for one night. I don't know if this will be the permanent setup, at least for right now, but this seems to be the way I'm going to go for the foreseeable future, at least until I sort things out. So I'm happy to be on.
Sounds good. And last but not least, the man of the hour, our special guest, the man who runs Podermania, here to talk about the show, Mr. Edward Loredo. How are you doing, sir?
Oh, I'm doing great, but the name of the promotion is actually Poder.
Poder. Okay,
oh, Poder.
We've been pronouncing it wrong for a year. My
you're
apologies.
You're not the only one. Izzy did a promotional video last year, and she said the same thing. It's actually it means power in Spanish.
Okay.
So, but a lot of people kind of make the same mistake. So it's kind of on me, but you know.
So it's really poder.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Okay. We begin at the Midwestern that tries its best to accommodate all forms of accents and names across wrestling, including Spanish and Japanese. So thank you for that so much.
Yes. Walter, you should have helped us with that being Puerto Rican. You should have figured that out.
Where were you?
I didn't think about it.
You
You just heard, you heard me just pronounce it correctly. No, I didn't think about it.
But Edward, how are you doing this evening, good sir? I appreciate the fact that you took my invitation to come on here, talk about the promotion, the show, man.
Oh, no problem, man. I actually kind of miss doing things like this. For those of you that don't know, for 8 years, I did a podcast over the top radio, kind of in the early days of the internet before every wrestler and everyone else had a podcast. We had a pretty 8-year run. It's pretty good. So it's kind of cool to come back and do some. It's been a while since I've been on the podcast.
Right on. So, well, let's just jump right into it. You know, we don't know your story. I mean, I've seen on your X account that you did used to do the show. I didn't know if you still were doing it or not, but what brought you into professional wrestling? What started your wrestling journey?
Well, when I was a kid, I got cable, and on the first Saturday, I'm so old. I go before the slider. I'm sure some people might remember the slider. I had the pre-slider. I had it where you had a lever with a row of buttons. So on my first Saturday with cable, I'm hitting all the buttons, and I come across a guy with blonde hair kicking somebody's ass, and I hear this distinct voice saying, "That's why they call him Wildfire." And from that moment on, I've been hooked. I just always watched basically everything. I fucking bought all the after mags, all the magazines. I was just always looking for wrestling information, but I never really got what I wanted until the internet came along. And I'm so old. I used to have CompuServe, and
Jesus.
I discovered the law, and from the law, I discovered Dave Meltzer because they would have Dave Meltzer on. So then I kind of started listening to Wrestling Observer Live back on IATA, like the original wrestling podcast, and I started calling into that. So I was like a regular caller for years and years, and then became a member of the Observer site and Brian's site. And then I started arranging. We would go to Vegas. We go to Vegas once a year. We call it our Vegas convention. And we would also all go to WrestleMania. We went to WrestleMania for like maybe 10 years straight. And I was the one that would organize everything. I would set up like the buses to Mania, the dinners we would all have, kind of stuff like that. I got into doing my podcast, which I did for a few years. After 8 years, you kind of run out of things to talk about. We were kind of repeating, and then the pandemic kind of hit. So we just kind of, it was just time for it to die down and stuff. So since then, basically, that's when I started kind of promoting my show. I basically, for those wondering, I'm not like, I don't really consider myself a real promoter. I think you got to do more than one show a year to be a real wrestling promoter. But
fair enough.
I do have fun with it, and it's a pretty cool thing to do. Sometimes it's great. Like these last 2 years, it's awesome when you're doing a show in WrestleMania because people are coming to you. Whereas 2 years ago, I had a show where I had 13 cancellations.
Oof.
And I had to change. Every time I changed the poster, I had to change the poster again. And that was kind of a nightmare, but yeah, it's been pretty easy on this one. I've just I do have some news. I'm going to announce a few people that weren't announced previous. I'm going to announce the final competitor that I'm adding. She doesn't even know I'm gonna that I'm doing this. That I'm putting her on the show right now, and I got some matchups for you. But yeah, for people who are familiar with the Wrestling Observer site, they would know who I am, and but if you're not, then you wouldn't know who I was.
No, that's fair. That's fair. I know the Wrestling Observer is kind of polarizing to people. You either love or you hate Meltzer. So we kind of try to walk that tightrope line. We give respect to everybody that's in the business in the space because we want to eventually get to where they are. So
yeah,
you got to have respect for a guy like Meltzer that's been in the game as long as he has.
The thing that makes it polarizing with Meltzer is he just feels he has this need to argue with everyone on Twitter, and he doesn't get that these people who he's arguing with, they got 5 followers, 6 followers. Nobody sees their post until he reposts them, but he feels he has to defend himself. And it's like, Dave, no one would see that shit if you didn't respond to him. And that kind of starts it. And Dave's Dave. I mean, he speaks his own language. I used to, when we would have in the early days of our conventions, I would actually have people email me and they would ask me, how does it work with Dave? How do you talk to Dave? I'm like, well, don't bother doing any small talk. Just start asking your questions. You'll make him uncomfortable if you start talking about like real life stuff. I'm joking, but that's kind of what I do to tell him. But yeah, I mean, Meltzer's like I disagree with Meltzer a lot, but I just love hearing the history. It's a kind of it sucks that this is what he's the best at, but nobody writes an obituary better than Dave Meltzer. I mean, when somebody dies, he brings honor to that person, and if they're somebody in wrestling, even if you don't people you never heard of, he'll start talking and like Solomon Grundy. I'm sure nobody here is old enough to remember Solomon Grundy, but I do, and he's from my hometown, and he gave a good little thing on him. So that's what I love about Meltzer is the history and that kind of stuff. And people think he's like a reporter. He's not a reporter. He doesn't break stuff. He writes stuff down and stuff with the business. So, and he has his own ideas, and people who, for whatever reason, that quarter star is like it's worth kicking somebody's ass for or something. So,
right.
Some
of these people on Twitter.
He's gonna retire off that system because seriously, he's made his own. You can make your own podcast off that system alone, but at the end of the day, it's just one person's outlook that just draws a polarizing conversation. And honestly, that's what professional wrestling is. It's a polarizing conversation. Whether you're into the big stuff, the small stuff, this person for 15 years, you knew this person off of the 2 matches. It always seems like there's some sort of aspect to wrestling to talk about, whether it's history or whether it's current. So there you go.
wrestling is just like you say, polarizing. It's like there's three kinds of fans. There's WWE fans, there's AEW fans, and there's fans that are both. And for some reason, two of them they can't accept the same thing. And back in the day, it was the same thing. It was you're either WWF or you're NWA. Maybe you're AWA if you were in up north or somewhere. But it's like that's just how wrestling is. It's just like for some reason, we as wrestling fans just can't get along.
Yeah, it's gotten so bad. Like I do spaces pretty often nowadays. I am noticing there seems to be a bridge building between people who are fans of both products. I think, not to toot my own horn, I think, me, JJ, and the rest of us are kind of a cause celebration for that. But yeah, no, I'm with you. And I wish there was more people that could just enjoy both. But, I don't know. It's hard. Because I don't even enjoy the WWE product, at least currently right now, right? So it's one thing to be positive. I guess for me, it's like, be real, right? And if somebody disagrees with it, who cares? Like kind of what you said about Meltzer, like don't get all up and about with it, So who knows? I did have a question for you, good sir, if you don't mind me asking it.
Oh, sure.
I wanted to know, so you do Podermania. What was like your first start for wanting liking women's wrestling? Like what was like the match that made you appreciate what women could do inside the squared circle? Because I feel like I hear a different answer from everybody I asked that question to. So what say you, especially since you promote a promotion full of it?
Well, I can't really say it was like one thing. I just, I watched all wrestling. Luckily in Texas, I got so much of different shows, and I just liked seeing the women wrestlers. And I remember when I first started watching wrestling, I had a poster I put on my door in my bedroom. It was Sherry Martel in a blue outfit with like white boots that were kind of like up to her knees, and I always had that. And I just always enjoyed watching them. Seeing Judy Martin and Velvet McIntyre. Velvet McIntyre was my favorite for a while. I remember that a lot of people don't remember this, but the Crush Girls actually had a run in WWE. And then later on, the Jumping Bomb Angels came, and anyone who's seen those matches know that was just like, that was the best wrestling on WWE at the time.
They were ahead of their time. Ahead of their time.
Two Japanese girls you never heard of, and two old ladies, because Lion Kai and Judy Martin were older by that time. I mean, I can only imagine how good these matches would have been if they were like 10 years younger. And just always a fan, never getting what you never really get to see it. You become a fan, but you don't get to see it. You maybe get to see a match here, a match there. WWE was the Diva era. I enjoyed some of that stuff. Some of it was a little too much, but you didn't really get to see women wrestle. Yeah. And then I kind of, the indies kind of started coming around, and then ROH started featuring women, and then Prazak put it together Shimmer. And the first Shimmer show I went to was in New York, the WrestleMania in New York. And I was like really hooked after that. So I started going to the Shimmer shows at Mania. I had a buddy who would also go to Chicago shows, and he told me about it, and he kind of convinced me to go check it out. So I went one weekend, and fuck, dude, if you're a women's wrestling fan, you couldn't ask for anything more than Shimmer, dude. You got fucking 4 to 5 shows.
It was great.
10 matches each, just nonstop, and just talent from all over the world, Australia, Europe, Japan. It was just fucking fantastic. And unfortunately, Dave probably lasted longer than he should have, because I don't think he ever really made money off of it. I know I don't make money off of it. It's hard to make money off of indie wrestling unless you're Brett or somebody like that, or you have like a stable thing. So I just kind of what started the promoting is we were doing our Vegas convention for the Observer site, and Tom Lawler had joined the site and was doing shows, and I knew that he had worked for the local Vegas promotion FSW, and I kind of like, hey, you think maybe they would let us do a match, like maybe you or Brian, and he's like, the promoters actually asked about you doing something like that. And so he put me in contact, and when we worked it out, so we put on a match. It was actually Tom against Antonio Thomas. And then they let me add Leva Bates. Leva was a friend of mine, and they let me add a match with Leva Bates. And they
such an underrated wrestler, Leva Bates.
And they were and FSW was going to supply Hudson Envy, and then I was actually able to get Mia Yim to come, and so there was a 3-way. And then they let me have a match with Shotzi. And I didn't get paid. I wasn't like the co-promoter. They just let me do these matches. Basically, they were getting free matches because I took care of things, and kind of had heat with Tom because I told Tom he wasn't gonna get paid, but somehow there was like a joke that I made about them not getting paid, and he was like, it caused a little heat. So I think everything's cool now. But so I did that, and then the next year, the guy's like, "Hey, if you want to co-promote something," so I'm like, "Okay, I'll do that." It was a half and half. We went. It was still an FSW show, but we went half. I supplied the women's matches. I brought in Diva and Mia again. Brought in Brittany Brooks, Samantha Heights, Chris Wolf, and a few other people. So we did.
What year was this around? Just for context, not to cut you off.
Sure.
What year was this?
Oh, shoot, man, this is probably about 8 or 9 years ago.
Okay.
So you've been doing this stuff for a decade then.
It's getting there. It's getting there. So then they were like, if you want to do your own shows, we can do that. You can just, rent out the building. And I'm like, okay, that's easy. It's like I don't have to do anything except pay the money. Everything's there. Right. So I did the first show kind of in conjunction with the Observer Vegas convention. It was also Double or Nothing week. So there's a good crowd there. So I took a chance and did my own show, and I think I broke even and stuff. I had one of Brian Alvarez's last matches where he wrestled not Marco, but the other stunt.
Logan stunt?
Yeah, Logan stunt. and some matches, and then from there I just decided I'm not gonna make money. I go to Vegas every year. I spend a shitload of money, whether it's gambling or other activities. So I'm like, if I know I'm gonna spend some money, let's do a wrestling show. Let's fuck it. Let's do this. I enjoy doing it. So every year we've done it, and most of the times it's been in conjunction with AEW doing Double or Nothing. Luckily this year and last year was WrestleMania. I don't know if I'm going to do what I'm going to do next year since there's no WrestleMania next year.
I would go either All In
SummerSlam or All In.
Yeah,
probably.
All In's probably going to be in London next year again. I think.
All Out.
Yeah, All Out.
All Out would, probably.
Because Chicago usually is where All Out takes place. It's kind of like being their mainstay. I would figure if you didn't do this in Las Vegas, Chicago would be your next spot. I love that you mentioned Shimmer because I used to be a fan of the Rise promotion, which was also heavily out of the Chicago area and was essentially an all-women's promotion there. Many great wrestlers that I followed through the independents, like Cherry Bomb, Mercedes Martinez, who's going to retire this year. People that you mentioned, including Mia Yim, and looking at her journey. I remember watching them through Shimmer. So I would think also in your just territory, maybe looking for a Podermania or where else can be showing outside Las Vegas. I think Chicago will be a cool trying spot for you. Maybe not during necessarily April, but maybe during the summer. Just a little bit of a idea. And I do wonder as you go through your wrestling fandom and this history, and I love that. You've been doing Podermania now since 2019 to the point I heard, because you mentioned Double or Nothing, the first Double or Nothing, of course, from the MGM Grand, May 25th, 2019. This has been a standard annual showcase for you. Looking back at some of the history of your shows, I've seen also the other promotions you've worked with. You work with promotions not only just outside Las Vegas, you work with Title Match, you work with Pro Wrestling Eve, one of my favorites, Chris Wolf, you mentioned, of course, a mainstay of that underground promotion in the UK. So when it comes to the power of women's wrestling, as your show name indicates, I definitely can get a sense that you are looking at a global scale, and I love that.
Oh, well, thank you. I appreciate it. I'm doing my best. Like I say, it's for one show a year. If we like last year, we made some. Like I said, I mentioned earlier, I read all the aftermags you know, I had the editor in chief email me asking me to go to the show, and then wrote it was an article about a bunch of shows, but he had a blurb about me, a couple paragraphs with a photo from the show, and gotta believe I'm 53, but I still marked out like a fucking 6-year-old when I fucking saw that shit.
I don't blame you there,
Oh,
man.
yeah.
Achievement, that's notoriety.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things we do here in the Simply Reliable Studios is we do watch-alongs. You know, obviously the bread and butter where we get our viewers is WWE, AEW, but this past year, going back to WrestleMania last year, we've had a heavy focus on the independents. You can even backtrack a little bit further because Noah and I here did a Mission Pro show where the main event was Tiffany Nieves and Izzy Moreno, and it was where Izzy won the championship from Tiffany. And, you know, just like I said, just kind of snowballed from there with doing Joey Janela's Spring Break last year and a lot of the collective events and Podermania. You know, we did a watch along for that last year because, like I told you in the DM, we're huge advocates of women's wrestling.
Yep.
What are your thoughts on the current independent scene in professional wrestling right now? Because for my money, and I don't know about you being a guy who actually does promote a show at least once a year, I think the independents are thriving in ways that it hasn't for years. And a lot of the products is actually better than what we see during the week in the main companies.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's at like Indie's always going up and down, and I think it's pretty up. But you know, I've seen it where it's been higher. But I do think that I do like that more women seem to be able to get more work. Like you'll see more than one woman on a show because that used to be the thing. You'd see one woman or one woman's match.
Mm-hmm.
And now you'll see a women's match, maybe two women's match. You'll see an intergender, maybe two intergender matches. And so I'm happy that it seems like more of them are getting more work because it seemed like I say, you have the one or two here, and then like they'd only get to have their like Shimmer weekend would be the big weekend because that's when they can go and have their fucking match and not, you know, oh, you get 2 minutes or you're just here. You need one girl's match. Or to me, I think the women have gotten more respect the last few years. And I really wish Shimmer was still going strong, but unfortunately it's not. But, you know, there's people like me who are trying to, you know, do women's shows and kind of carry it a little bit, maybe keep it going, maybe not to the prestige that Shimmer was because, you know, that was a big thing to the women wrestlers. You know, Shimmer was their WrestleMania for a lot of them, you know.
Right.
Yeah, I love how many opportunities the women are getting because you seem like, especially you take someone like, for example, Shotzi. I feel like I'm seeing more of her on the independent than I did when she was signed with the big company. Like I'm seeing more of her.
Yeah, you could add Priscilla Kelly to that list too, Walter. I feel like Chemical X in general are getting more opportunities now since they've left WWE than they have when they were there, really. Like they got a lot more respect, a lot more notoriety. I think a lot of people realized what WWE missed out on because of their work that they've been putting in the indies this last year. So
I think part of that is that because they were in WWE for a while, people forget that Shotzi was working 2 to 3 nights every week.
There's a reason she was called the Ballsy Badass as well.
Yeah, and PK was, you know,
first night in does a freaking death match, like you know.
Yeah, and PK, you know, she worked a lot, and then you know you don't get to see them except for when they're doing stuff in WWE, which is they're not featured all the time, and then they come back and Shotzi just went back into that mode where she's just working. I remember after it was a Rice show in Houston. They did something in Houston. And after the show, I was giving Shotzi a ride back to the hotel, and we stopped to eat. And I'll never forget, she's just looking at me, and she's like, Ed, I don't think it's going to happen. I just don't think it's going to happen. And I'm like, no, Shotzi, it's going to happen. There's nobody who looks like you, and you work your ass off. Just stay the course. And not long after, she got signed. I like to joke about this. If you work Poder, there's a good chance you're going to get signed. Because after working my show, Mia Yim got signed.
Yep.
Aliva Bates, I worked my show, got signed. Chris Bay worked my show, got signed. Shotzi Blackheart worked my show, got signed. Ren Sinclair worked my show, got signed. Now, I know I had absolutely nothing to do with it, but I take full credit.
and you should. I mean, you know, when the situation arises where you can toot your own horn a little bit, go for it.
Yeah,
you
man.
know, I like to tell people, and like I was a huge wrestling fan from when I got into it in about 98 until 2014, just after WrestleMania 30 and Bryan winning the title at WrestleMania. I took a hiatus just because I was tired of seeing the same people pushed in the main events for the titles. But I did go to an independent wrestling show in 2019. It was October 5th. It was my best friend's birthday, so that's why we were going out here in Southern California in Pomona. And Shotzi just happened to be on the card. Little did I know, I did my research a little bit later, she had one more performance after that before she reported to NXT.
Yep.
So I literally caught her like on her way into the company. And so I just like to tell people, you know, hey, it's like I saw her next to last indie date.
Yep.
And now in doing the watch alongs that we do, we've given her a lot of coverage because of her being on GCW, and now she's the House of Glory Women's Champion. Found out yesterday I'm going to be going to the show out here for House of Glory this month, so get to see her live defending the championship. One of our friends and contributors wanted to know from you, Ed, how much time goes into putting together a show like this, as well as what is your criteria when booking talent on your show? Like, what do you look for when booking a talent?
It does take a while. Like I'll be doing something like every day for the next 3 months, whether it's working on posters, whether it's you know, you got to set up some travel. Luckily with WrestleMania, that's one thing that's kind of a blessing is a lot of the girls are going to be there on their own. So that helps. If it was like that all the time, maybe I could run more shows. Because that's a difficult part. People don't understand. You gotta set up transportation. You gotta get hotels or stuff like that. That makes it kind of difficult. So there's all kinds of little stuff that goes in. Luckily, you're asking about criteria. A lot of people are like, oh, you book all the good-looking wrestlers. I go, well, I book them because they're good wrestlers, and if they're good-looking, that's like,
a bonus, really.
They're good-looking. That's not my fault, but
Not my fault.
I do, look for wrestling, and like this year, I am going to give a bunch of new girls a chance, an opportunity to see what show they can
what
do.
I was looking for.
So I am going to do that, but I'm very loyal. Brittany Blake and Miranda Alizé have been with me from the beginning, basically, and they're going to have a spot. Even if I know one of them's kind of got some heat in the last few months, but she actually does a lot of work for me backstage and behind the scenes, and I was under a lot of pressure. We had to finish the show at a certain time last year. And the only reason we finished it right at the minute, and that's because Miranda Alizé ran the show for me and took care of everything like that.
Right on.
So I'm very loyal. If I feel that you're loyal to me, you got a job with me forever. If you don't, if I don't, like there's one wrestler that was very good, a very good wrestler. She was asking for a little more than other people. I happily paid it at first, but I don't feel that she advertised my shows at all. So I'm not going to book that person anymore because I don't ask a lot. Like I'll tweet something and all I want is a retweet. If you retweet stuff, that's fine. Anything else to that is extra and golden. And I don't ask for more. But when you can't even do that, it's like, you want what? And you can't even retweet my post, So no, I'm not going to use you. I'm not going to name names, but
very fair.
Experiences, one or two. So I did try. Are you asking a question?
Yeah, they have their hands up to ask something. Walter had his hand up first, and then we'll go to James. But finish your thought there, Ed.
Yeah, so I do look at the wrestling first. I want to have I want to see good matches, and stuff like that. So that's kind of like my criteria. And I do take the word of wrestlers. Shazza, she came to me about Nixie, and Nixie's fucking awesome. She's gonna be on this next show. Shotzi kind of mentioned someone on a retweet on one of my tweets, and that girl is going to be on the show.
Right on.
Unfortunately, you can't do that for everybody because you got limited spots. But I do take
exactly.
If I respect you and you're willing to put somebody over like that, I will give that person a chance. I'll never forget years ago, Samantha Heights, who's hasn't been wrestling for a few years. She was injured at the time. She was a Heart of Shimmer champion. She was going to do my show, but she was injured. But she did commentary, and we were talking, and she just went on about, "Oh, Ed, it's too early now, but there's this girl. She is so awesome. She's going to be great. Her name is Billy Starks.
Yeah,
you have to keep her in mind and book her in the future." And I've had Billy on a couple of my shows, and I remember telling Billy this. When you were first breaking in, I had heard of you. I didn't really know anything about you, but Samantha Heights, she told me that you were going to be somebody, and keep my eye out on you. And goddamn, she was right. So
Yeah, we did our first ever awards this past New Year's Eve, and Billy Starks was a part of our match of the year. You talked a little bit earlier about interpromotional matches. Our match of the year was YDNP, Jordan Oliver and Alec Price with Marcus Mathers versus Megan Bain, Billy Starks, and Miyu Yamashita from a GCW show last year.
Yeah. That match was unbelievable. I think it was Walter next.
Yes, Walter was going to go first, James. Go ahead, Walter.
Yeah, so like as a wrestling fan, when we see those little fine print words, card subject to change, really doesn't mean anything to us. But as a promoter, that's got to have a lot of weight to it. So like, how difficult is it when you really do have to shuffle the card at the last second, and when card subject to change really happens to you as a promoter?
Whoa.
Because you mentioned the show where you had like 13 cancellations. So.
Yeah.
How about your hand busting?
So it was the show before the last show before the WrestleManias, and it was Double or Nothing weekend also. And I'm always told the FSW promoter, Joe, he's who I hope he's not mad at me because I moved to the collective, but I love FSW. I couldn't do anything without FSW. I only exist because of FSW, and I always will respect Joe. So I hope there's no heat or anything because I moved to the collective. But he's always telling me, and the people from Vegas, Ed, you need to use more local talent. You need to lose more local talent. It save you some money here, this. So I decided I'm going to use all the local talent. So I booked all the local talent. And AEW, and they didn't do it all at once. They did it one at a time. Just started, booking people for extra work backstage. And, I'm not going to stop them from making twice as much, 3 times as much, and getting free catering. So, hey, it's for their behalf. So it's not, I'm not going to say, no, you agree. I'm not going to say that, oh, you agreed to work my show. You need to work my show. It's like, no, that's not even a question. But I had a feeling they were going to take Brittany Brooks, and they grabbed her. And then I had to make a new poster for it. It was going to be Brittany Brooks against J-Rod. So they took Brittany Brooks. So then I make a new poster with a new opponent for J-Rod. And then, J-Rod got booked. She's not going to be on the show. And so it was just over and over. I just had to keep it just like there was a Zaya Brookside was booked on the show, but then there was a potential visa issue where she had to go home and work out. So she ended up moving. Miranda Alizé had a close death in the family. So she kind of backed out last minute. There was some wrestlers were going to go on were booked to airfare, like had airfare to somewhere else. And then that got changed. So they had to change things. And it was just like everything was falling apart. And then two girls that I really liked, I feel that I'm not going to name names, but I feel that they jumped ship because both of them had the excuse of, oh, we just found out that we're working, we can't get off that weekend. And how do you find that out on Tuesday and Wednesday? Come on, And So it was just one. So then I got Meltzer to even put out like, hey, if there's anyone knows of any women wrestlers in the area or near that are willing to go, contact me. I was able to get cheerleader Melissa, who's kind of been semi-retired. She's not retired, but she's kind of has really slowed down. It was one of her first matches in a while. I contacted Nicole Savoy and got her to come out of basically retirement to come do the show. And the night before FSW ran a show, I sent this friend of mine who helps me promote, this friend of mine, Ben Paul. I sent him to go book a couple wrestlers just in case, just shit just keeps happening. And so I had to book a men's match. So I do have some men's matches. It's not a pure women's matches all the time. I have my boy Ricky. He comes out all the time. And Brittany Brooks had saw that I was having issues, so she contacted me. And she's like, hey, I'm sorry what happened, but let me see what I can do. And she booked somebody for me. But then that morning, that person couldn't get a babysitter and had to cancel. And I just barely have enough for like 5, maybe 6 matches. And Christy James was my champion. And she's like, hey, have you contacted Katie Forbes? And I'm like, no, I think she's kind of expensive. And she's like, yeah, she is, but she's here. You want me to call her? I was like, okay. So she set it up. So Katie Forbes got booked like half an hour before the show, came and did it.
Nice.
She's the most viewed on my YouTube channel. She's the most viewed match of any of the matches. So
I wonder why.
Yeah, for real.
That's how hard it was. I was booking people 30 minutes before the show, and it's like it was that was not fun. I was almost done. I was almost gonna be done. The show ended up being a success for what it was. We ended up having good matches and a good show. And if you hang out with Nicole Savoy, it's a good time. She's very entertaining, so that was fun. It wasn't a total disaster. It didn't totally kill my spirit, but for like a few days there, I was like, I'm fucking done with this shit.
I don't blame you. It sounds like a very stressful situation. I know we're nobody in the space, but one female we're really high on, and I don't know if it's anyone you worked with or talked to or considered for your shows, but Walter's wearing her shirt, and I mentioned her earlier, Tiffany Nieves.
Yeah.
We actually were able to secure an interview with her last year, shortly before she became NWA Women's Tag Champion.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have seen her. I've gone because I would go to every once in a while I would go to the Mission Pro shows.
Mm-hmm.
I think I saw her wrestling Emily Camacho.
Okay.
Who Emily Camacho? I thought she was really great. The other one, I thought she was good. She had a good look. I've had no contact with her, and no one's really kind of put her over to me. Is like I say, of the wrestlers that I know real close. So maybe in the future.
That was going to be my next question, and I was going to just recommend names to you since you were talking about new people. Nieves was one of them. She's been killing it lately, so I recommend her. Natalia Markova. I don't know if you've seen her matches at all.
No, I don't really get a chance to see like a lot of indies too much. So it's like it's like if someone gets on my radar, then I kind of start to look at them.
Network.
Definitely check her out.
She's the current NWA Women's Champion.
Yeah, she's the NWA Women's Champion. That woman is like a star in the making. And I know, this is James's favorite. Of course, he would have bias, but like outside of that whole thing about her, this woman lays her shit in. Like, we're talking, she could have been a part of the Joshi class, and she could have been like the top gaijin of one of the Joshi promotion like shows. She's really, really good at what she does. So I recommend her. Check out
her and Tiffany had a cage match last year that was voted NWA's match of the year.
Yeah, and honestly, it was a really good women's cage match. Like, honestly, like she got a shiner like right here. She posted it on social media. It was nasty looking. And then the other wrestler, other than Nieves and Markova, that I was gonna put you on to, who's the girl with the green pants? She's in GCW and JCW a lot.
It's not Emerson J, but Emerson J.
Emerson J. No, that is.
Is it Emerson J?
Yeah, Emerson James has been doing quite a bit of work for GCW
Yeah,
lately.
she's one that's been on my radar. Rebecca Scott is another one. The beauty, though, again, with the fact that Podermania brings this stage forward to women's wrestling on a global standpoint, but also shedding light not only on this aspect of wrestling, but these promotions as well. There is so much talent in depth, not just in that weekend alone and the people that are there locally or travel, but so much you reach out to. And it sounds like those that are loyal to you, it does lead to further networking. It also leads to further opportunity. So I also think that's pretty cool. And I do love the fact that we're naming promotions and names like the National Wrestling Alliance, Pro Wrestling League, FSW, Shine, Simmer, Rise. You talk about Texas, of course, with Reality of Wrestling, Pro Texas Wrestling, of course, Killer Kelly and Roxanne Perez are one of my favorite matches from there. So I'm looking very forward to the reach out, not only in the talent that you get booked on your show, but also the reach out that will happen from the talent that, of course, is booked on your show for further Podermanias to come. And good luck, by the way, to the current Poda Women's Champion, Brittany Blake, by the way.
Yeah, speaking of talent, if you want, I can run down the entire list. I wrote this down. I'm like thinking, how the hell am I going to fit all these people in? But
that's fun.
Absolutely,
right?
We'd love
here
to
we
hear
go.
some
This is the
exclusives.
entire roster, and somebody who doesn't even know they're on here is going to get announced. Okay, so champion Brittany Blake, Shotzi Blackheart, Leva Bates, Sue Young, Izzy Moreno, Nixie XS, Little Mars is returning from Australia, Alejandra La Leona, Shazza McKenzie, Aaliyah James, Gypsy Mack, Carolina Cruz, Jasmine Allure, Miranda Alizé, Jocelyn Navarro, Ali Catch, Donnie Moe, Kia McKinney, Emily J, Journey Burke. I might miss a few, pronounce a few last names here wrong. Valentina Rossi,
Valentina Rossi, the Italian beauty that she is.
And she wasn't confirmed before. I was tweeting about tickets on sale, but Brittany Brooks is now confirmed, and Alex Gracia is also now confirmed.
Hey, the pink
we got from Defy Amira is returning. She had a great match with Little Mars last year. Local Vegas favorite Maserati.
Okay.
Then just signed because Shotzi put her over. Serena Veo, I believe.
Okay.
And then just she doesn't even know. And I do have a waiting list, and it took me a couple of days to decide who I was going to add. And no disrespect to the other girls that are on the list, there's still a chance. I've never had a show where people didn't cancel or get injured or something. So there is still a chance for a few people to get on. But right now, the last person will be Rachel Lay.
Okay, wow. It's a hell of a roster. And I know you guys usually have, correct me if I'm wrong, an old acquaintance of mine, Heather Lynn, is your ring announcer.
Yes. Heather Lynn, who is a hometown girl from San Antonio. I used to love watching her do all the what was it, the Shine and the Evolve and all Dragon's Gate shows back in the day. She's great. So Heather Lynn's going to be ring announcing. For commentary, I got Veda Scott and I got Val Capone, and I'm hoping Prazak will be there because that's going to be a mark out moment. Dave Prazak calling my women's show. That's going to be fucking awesome if he can. If not, Veda and Val will do a great job themselves. So yeah, that's
Veda Scott to me is the freelance female commentary voice of professional wrestling. Absolutely love her.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see if she has a voice come WrestleMania night, because I'm sure she'll be doing all the stuff for the collective. She does a lot of stuff for GCW. So she'll probably have no voice by the time Saturday night comes around.
I mean, you put me for the ringer and somehow I've survived. So Veda, if I could do it, you can do it. And also you do this for a living. You got this.
Yeah, this is the guy that's our main play-by-play guy when we do the watch-alongs. He is so knowledgeable.
That's cool. I mean, it's not an easy job. I actually did commentary for one of my shows with Denise Salcedo. And,
wow.
Oh, wow.
That was a fun experience. I thought we did a good job. I was kind of proud of myself. I was like, well, goddamn, you kind of did all right. So then the next year I was planning on doing it too. And then shit kind of hit the fan and kind of just, just kind of threw me from being like everything was cool into like, oh shit's going wrong, everything's going wrong. And then Walker Stewart, FSW said, hey, we got a guy, Walker Stewart. He's here. He wants to do your show. I hadn't even never heard of him at the time, but he did the show, and stuff. So I haven't done it since, but maybe one day I'll get back there. But when you have the chance to use people like Veda Scott, they praise that you use them. It's like,
if any commentators can't ever make it, you got a team right here.
For
Check
real.
her videos out.
I actually just saw Denise Salcedo announce that she's going to be doing a live show there, kind of like how Chris Van Vliet does his Inside Lives. Maybe you can tap her to be like a backstage interviewer for you, since you've got history with Denise.
Yeah, I'll try. I'm sure she's very busy. There's nobody that grinds and works harder than Denise. I don't agree. Like she's a little like I don't watch all her shows. She's a little too positive for me. But as far as the hustle, the grind, the work ethic, there's fucking nobody that has what she has as far as putting the effort and work into it. It's like, my God, that woman just nonstop.
Legit.
We have another question in the chat room from our contributor, Nicholas. He wanted to ask you, does the WWE ID program make booking a show easier or harder for you? For example, having to decide who wins and who can appear on the show.
Well, I've never worked with WWE, so I really can't speak on that too much. But of course, if I was to book one of their champions, I'm not going to fucking say, no, they have to lose to my guy. I know the deal. The deal is that their person's got to go over, and I would not have a problem with that. I would know that full well. I'd be happy to do it. You know what I mean? Because they're giving you a little more attention. I don't know how much it is, but it's a little more, and every little bit helps.
Exactly.
Absolutely, you get that WWE rub.
Yeah, and it not only helps the promotion, it literally helps that talent.
I guess a follow-up question in relation to that question, and say it's just like a WWE ID talent. I know she's pregnant right now, but this is the only example I can think of. Kylie Ray, say you book her for a show, would it then be an issue of say a person that you also bring in, you want them to go over, or would that still be a conflict of interest because WWE would want, say, Kylie Ray to go over, who isn't a champion right now, I think, because she fell pregnant. But again, only example I could think of was Kylie. So,
well, like let's say if whether it be Kylie or if I had anybody from the WWE ID program, I wouldn't even be on my own thinking about beating them. I would already know.
So you would just let them win, basically.
Yeah, they're going over regardless.
Fair.
Regardless if I'm asked or not. If I was to book somebody like that, they're going over.
Yeah, you've got to look at the
WWE. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm not on a power trip. I don't need to have my person be better than them. It's a work sport, so it doesn't matter.
Fair.
So so I mean, I wouldn't have a problem with that at all. I have had the most horrible luck in booking Kylie Ray. I had her booked one of my early shows, and that's when she got hurt in Japan and couldn't do it. And then I had her booked for another show, and then she had to take her second leave of absence.
Yeah.
So I didn't even, when that happened, I was like, you know what? I'm not even going to worry about the airfare. She doesn't need to worry about me. She's got her own, she's got to take care of her own thing. So I'm just going to I'm not going to complain. I'm not going to ask. It's just that I'm going to accept that and do that for her because she doesn't need added stress at the time.
Respect.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you rattled off some of your roster. Do you have any matches you'd like to tell us about?
Yeah, let me see here. I'm not totally down with the whole card, but championship match. We got my champion, Brittany Blake. So she's going to main event with the original Podermania. It was Poder. It was just Poder, not Mania at the time. But the original main eventer, Shotzi Blackheart.
Ooh,
so
nice.
That's going to be a big match. After their insane, wacky last showgirl standing match that got me yelled at in the production room, rematching Nixie XS with Shazza McKenzie, and the stipulation hasn't been decided, but they are going to come up with something even wilder than last year. So if for some reason Brett does not start screaming at me in the control room during the match, I will be very disappointed, Shazza and Nixie.
Just don't do a riddle box match. That's all I ask.
Yeah. Trust. Don't do a riddle box match. You'll be better off.
And then I'm looking at, and like I say, this card's subject to change. But I'm looking at Jasmine Allure versus Alejandra Leona.
That's gonna slap so hard.
I've
seen La Leona on a couple of different cards, and I saw Jasmine wrestle in person at a Future of Women's Wrestling show.
I believe
that's going to slap hard.
I believe she's still the Ladies Nights Out champion amongst other titles as well.
I believe she is.
Yeah, I believe so. I think Jasmine might be, I don't want to say the best, but she's in top 3-5 best indie women wrestlers. She's
agreed.
Phenomenal. And Alejandra has come so fucking along so well. I remember seeing her a few years ago where she was just green as grass. And I'm like, she's got a good look, but yeah, she's pretty green. She needs to work on it. And she has worked on it, and she's become, I thought her and Alex Gracia kind of in a way stole the show last year in their match. Their match was just nonstop hard hitting, and I just love like following her story. You know, you got this immigrant from El Salvador trying to make it in the wrestling world here, and you know, she's very positive, and I really like her. She's you know, I really hope the best for her.
Respect the grind. Respect the grind for anyone looking to achieve that dream in professional wrestling. Dang it.
All right, we're also looking at Miranda Alizé versus Carolina Cruz.
Okay.
Nice.
Okay, and possibly a tag match. I thought Little Mars and Amira had a great match against each other, so I thought, man, they would maybe make a great team. So maybe it'll be them against Joshua Navarro and Maserati.
Okay.
And other than that, I do have an idea for a gauntlet match, but I still got to figure out who I'm going to put in there. So I don't have a whole lot more as far as matches to announce, but you heard my talent, so there's going to be some banging matches coming up.
Absolutely. When you read off your talent roster, the first match that I wanted to see, because I will be there, Walter will be there. We are going to be there at that show for that week. But the one match I really wanted to see live, and I'm sure they've met before, but it's Brittany Brooks and Izzy Moreno.
Yep. I
would love to see that match in person.
Oh, well, we'll see what we can do. I do have to. I'm like I say, hoping there's no heat with FSW. But if there's not, hopefully Brittany will be defending the FSW title on this show like she has on the last one.
That would be really cool. That would be really cool if you could get that to work.
Yeah, that's in a promotional showcasing right there as well.
And I'm also hoping that because I told the guy from Ladies Night, Tally. I told him that basically my show this year has to be on Thriller Live. But then after that, they told me I can do whatever I want. So I did tell them I would like to put it on Title Match. Now I got to find out if it would be okay to actually do a Ladies Night Out Title Match, considering it's one streaming service champion on another streaming service live.
Right.
So, I'm not gonna piss anybody off. So it might just be a match. It could be a title match. We'll see. We will see how that goes.
That would be interesting, though. That would be really cool if you were be able to pull that off somehow.
Yeah, because now they would show that you're bridging, the wrestling community. You're bridging the streaming world as well of the wrestling communities, which really goes to show how widespread and interconnected professional wrestling can be. Because as far as I'm concerned, if that title's on another network, then maybe the other network could find some sort of collaboration, in which case it draws business to both networks. Exposure is key for not only people, but for brands across professional wrestling as well.
Yep.
Yeah, 100%. And I mean, worst comes to worst, I think Jasmine has like 3 titles. So if she can defend the Ladies' Night title, she can defend another title.
I just checked. I mean, Ed said it best. Jasmine Allure is one that respects and understands and demonstrates the grind that some people do not fully understand what that means and what's put into it. I've been following her work all throughout Texas when she used to wrestle like high-end. She wrestled Burt Vixen recently and Rhodes Wrestling Association, etc. She's also been one that's had my eye quite a bit. The bad signal is trying to get something in the frame.
Yeah, it's being blended out by my virtual background, but it's just an 8x10 I got of her at that show where she's got like 3 belts on her.
I got a funny Jasmine story.
Go for it.
And I'm sure my one buddy's gonna have some heat with me for telling the story, but I'm not gonna name his name. But I have a friend from the Observer site who's very nice, and he helps me with rides picking up the girls from the airports. And he's a very nice guy. Shazza McKenzie loves the guy. The girls love the guy. He's very non-threatening. They know they're in safe hands with this guy. And like I say, he's very nice. But he started to work for a Wrestling Observer. And he's very proud of the fact that he's working for the Wrestling Observer. So we went and we picked up Jasmine Allure and Maddie Rinkowski, Ren Sinclair. And we're taking him. It's the morning. We took him down the strip. Ren had never been to Vegas, so we're showing her the strip and just talking. And then my buddy just kind of and he did it in the most proudest sounding voice I've ever heard. Like he was telling you his son was just born. He looks and he just so you girls know, I work for the WrestlingObserver.com. And in my head, I'm like screaming, dude, that's not the end you think it is.
Oh, no. What?
So I'm just there trying not to laugh, and the girls are sitting there like, what the fuck?
I can just imagine Ren Sinclair because I've become a huge fan of her since she joined WWE and NXT. I'm so happy for the way she's gotten over as of late because it used to be she'd come out and get like almost no response. But ever since she started like the Happy Wren's Day videos, she's got such this swell of support where like she gets a huge pop when she comes out now. I'm so happy for her.
She is the most charismatic woman in NXT. That she just got charisma, whether she's a heel, whether she's a babyface. There's something about her that just sticks out. You know what I mean? I remember one time it was a quick thing. They had all the girls, and you see all these very pretty blondes, but the only one that stuck out was Maddie. Was Ren, because she had dark hair and she's got those eyes. She's a magnet. You will focus on her because she's just so charismatic. So even if everyone's like she could be in a group of 4 of the girls and they're being pushed hard as hell. She's the one that's going to get over because she's just the one that's going to steal the show doing everything else.
I love what they're doing with her right now, but I'd love for them to put her with Thea Hale because she's another one that I think just exudes charisma and they'd be a great tandem.
The young Nikita Knight, of course, for those that don't know, prior to her going to NXT and wrestling one match in AEW Dark, and is also literally 3 years in her wrestling career. She's basically been defined in JJ's NXT. And to Ed's point, by the way, folks, Jasmine Allure is not only World Association Women's Champion and Ladies and Hours Champion, she's the Hurricane Pro Wrestling Champion.
Do you see why he's the voice of our watch-alongs? His knowledge.
Yeah, that's awesome. I used to have a co-host that was like a wrestling encyclopedia. So it sucks because every time I made a mistake, he was there to correct me. And I was like,
he does botch.
Yeah. Noah is an encyclopedia dressed in a suit, I'm telling you.
Look, I'm just a guy that just watches all sorts of wrestling, and if I want to know about, they wrestled here, what's their career, what's their titles, I'll go to a cage match, because at the end of the day, you gotta do research. I respect the history, but I also respect where the business can go and where it's going. And when it comes to women's wrestling, the Joshi Circuit, of course, is my bread and butter, whether it's Aja Khan of the days that still go on, or Mika Owata of Sendai Girls, or as I learned from my friends, Saki Kasima, of course, retirement at the age of 33 in Stardom. At the end of the day, I just love women's professional wrestling.
Yeah, and speaking of, you just mentioned some legends in Japan, and in my opinion, a lot of people say she's the greatest women's wrestler in the world. I say she may be the greatest wrestler in the world, and that was Manami Toyota.
Yeah, Miami Toyota absolutely slapped in her time, man. She was ahead of her time too.
I'll say it right now. The 4 greatest women wrestlers that I've ever seen: Manami Toyota, Bona Kano, Aja Khan, and Akira Hokuto.
Yeah, Hokuto was. I think there was a match. It was between Hokuto and Aja Khan. They just beat the crap out of each other. And
that's what they do.
It just looked so real, and it was probably. There was probably a few potatoes thrown. And
I love strong style. That's why I also love Mia Yamashita, as we mentioned earlier. Of course, the Pink Striker. I mean, when she knocks you out, she knocks you the F out.
Like literally, those women walked. So no offense, because he's a legend in himself, but so that Kojima and what's his name? Why am I blanking on his name?
Denzel?
Guy in the green pants. Help me out, Noah.
The guy in the green pants.
Green pants. Original Tiger Mask.
Hashimoto?
Yeah, Masala. Thank you.
You're welcome.
No, he's the second.
They walked so they could
run.
run.
The
Is
original.
what I was trying to say.
Right.
See, he's the better encyclopedia. I'm just here. I'm the guy. I'm a color guy.
Nick would like to know of you, Ed. Speaking of overseas wrestlers, is it difficult to book overseas talent for your shows?
Like Pro Wrestling Eve, for example, like we talked about earlier, where you had the Eve Championship, I believe, on one of your previous shows.
And you mentioned how Zaya Brookside had like visa issues or something.
Yes.
So does that become an issue when it comes to booking talent?
Well, as far as like, I'm not actually booking them to come here on their own just for my show. So luckily I haven't had that, because I'm sure that goes into a thing. The Zaya thing was probably the only negative. I remember when I had Zoe Lucas booked the first time, I kind of had her arranged with the guy from Rise, and we had to split her airfare and stuff on that one. So there's some, sometimes you got to do a little extra, but for the most part, like Nina contacted me, Elia James contacted me. They told me they were going to be here, and then she even, I can ask if you want me to defend the title, I can ask if it's okay, and Eve was perfectly fine with that, because it's attention for them.
Exactly.
And, they were very high. They're very high on Izzy Moreno. So when I told them that I was considering Izzy for that spot, they were down. I don't even think Izzy was old enough to actually challenge for the title. I think you have to be 18 there, and she wasn't 18 quite yet. But they were so high, they were like, "Oh no, we'll forget about it this time."
Everyone's favorite BFF.
Yeah,
that was last year, right?
I haven't had that problem though. The international talent that I've booked have been here, so that helps.
That was last year, right? The Izzy Moreno match.
Yes.
That she was only like a couple of weeks away from her birthday.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah.
Happy birthday! You got a title match,
right?
Make a wish that you win.
Yeah.
Everyone's favorite BFF from Hybrid Wrestling Academy in Texas.
Yeah, exactly.
So we appreciate you being here, Ed, and talking about all this stuff with us. Is there anything else regarding Podermania that you would like to let people know?
If you're kind of if you're going to Mania and you're kind of on the bubble, what to do? We are Wednesday, so we are kind of early. So hopefully enough people are getting in on that day. We are at the Collective. The Collective is at the Horseshoe Hotel and Casino, which used to be Bally's. So it's there. We're at 3:00 on Wednesday. We are before Dragon's Gate. I believe Dragon's Gate is following us, so we got a good show behind after us. So hopefully maybe those people going to that show will come early and decide to come to our show. Ticket sales I was very happy with the first day. And stuff. Hopefully we'll still sell some more. I don't expect it to sell out, but I'm hoping to get as many people in there as possible. So if you're in Vegas, come check us out. They're gonna put on a hell of a match. They're gonna go in there and try and steal the show. And we're basically starting the week off. We're the kickoff to the whole week.
I love that.
There's gonna be like 3 or 4 smaller groups out there, so there'll probably be shows before me. But as far as noted shows or whatever, we are kicking the weekend off, and we're going to set the standard. And I have great confidence that these girls are gonna, or these women are going to put on one hell of a show, and you will get your money worth if you come to Podermania.
And just as a friendly reminder to people out there, if you're buying the tickets for the collective, the packages, Podermania is not included. That is a separate ticket. The packages for the collective are only for the Thursday through Saturday shows. Is that correct?
Yes, it's basically the GCW related shows. Basically, are
right.
Part of the pack. Maybe Progress is part of that deal. I'm not.
Just to clarify, also that would also include Dragon Gate for that Wednesday as well as a separate purchase.
Yeah.
Correct?
Any of the Wednesday shows are a separate ticket. The packages are for Thursday through Saturday. So JCW, the Juggalo show, is a part of it. I think Progress is part of it. The Death Invitational, I think, is part of it, which is through New Japan. But all the ones that are on Wednesday, including Ed's show, that's a separate ticket. So I just want to make sure that's clear out there for people. So if you're buying the packages, this is a separate ticket that you have to purchase. It's not included in that.
And you can buy your tickets via everbright.com. Just look up
Eventbrite.
Podermania at the collective.
Yes.
Yep. 100%. Thank you, Noah.
And you can follow me for posts about it at Twitter. My handle is at Ed in San Antonio. So yeah, you can get updates about the show there, and I'm sure all the wrestlers will be retweeting everything. So just if you're the wrestler you like, just follow her, and you'll get the information for her throughout the weeks. So yeah, we're hoping to put on a good show, and I'm so excited. I haven't gotten nervous yet, but I'm sure like the week before or a few days before, that's when it's going to hit, and that's when it's like, goddamn, what the fuck's going on? But
it's showtime. It's here. It's time. It's now.
yeah, it can get a little overwhelming at times. Like if you want to hear a horror story,
sure,
please do.
Okay, so it was the show with Ren Sinclair and Jasmine Allure. So I usually book the rooms at the Tuscany, which is a little bit off the street, but these giant rooms, there's plenty of space. It's away from everybody. So I think it's a good place to put everybody. But I had a couple of wrestlers that weren't able to tell me when they were going to be in town right before. And this one buddy of mine who helps me out, he's helped me out greatly with this show. He had booked some rooms at this casino a block away. And these rooms were for GCW talent in case Brett needed it. The guy, they didn't end up needing it. The guy's like, hey, I'm going to cancel these rooms, but if you need one, let me know, and then you can have it. And I'm like, yeah, I think I do need a room for just 2 nights. And he's like, okay. So it was Ruby Ray's and a girl that was, I cannot think of her name right now, but they were coming in. So they were coming in Friday night. So that Friday night, I took Jasmine and Maddie and Alex Rossi and Miranda. We went to go see the Michael Jackson Cirque du Soleil show.
Okay.
And then after the show, we were just having a drink or two at this one bar, and I just get well, first I start getting my phone was off. I turned it off at the show. So when I remembered to turn on my phone, I see that I've got missed calls and a bunch of missed texts from Brittany Blake. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? So I contacted her, and I had put her name down on the room because I knew she was getting in that night. Well, the person who took the name down didn't write it down or something, so they couldn't contact me because my phone was off. So she's trying to contact me. So that's kind of dealing with that. But luckily, she got a hold of Shazza McKenzie, and they let her get. It was taken care of. So that was just the start. That's the warm up.
That's the warm up, everybody.
Yeah. So we get back to the Tuscany, and I'm in the elevator. We're going up, and I get a text from Ruby Ray's, and it's a picture. And I click on this picture, and it's a picture of a fucking roach.
Oh! Ooh!
And I'm like, oh fuck! I am so sorry. She's like, we're going down the stairs to get another room. And then she texted me back, yeah, they gave us another room, no problem. We're going back up there. And then I get another text. And it's another fucking roach.
Okay, so that hotel's not going to pass inspection.
Roach Motel.
Yeah. So she's like, Ed, it's late. We're gonna stay here, but we can't stay here tomorrow. I'm like, no, I understand, no problem. I'll get your room at Tuscany. I apologize. I didn't know this was gonna happen. But I'm like, man, I go out of my way to make sure they're at a nice place. Like I was joking to them because it was GCW had a show that week, and I'm like, you girls, just so you know, you are in a much better hotel than Matt Cardona is in right now. And I take pride in that. It's one of my things. It's like if you work for me and I bring you in, you're gonna get taken care of. And I sent 2 girls to a hotel with a bunch of roaches. I was like,
well, I mean,
man.
you didn't know.
I know that, but I still felt bad about it. But I did take care of them the next day and stuff. But yeah, that was like one of the. Luckily, there haven't been too many horror stories, but yeah, that was one of them. Fucking.
Hey, listen. Next time, you never know. Maybe there's like, oh, a little bug. Oh, it's a roach. Oh, it's a friend. That's one way to look at it, I guess. There ain't no way I would look at it. I'm like, I'm running.
No,
I'm running.
Look at James to try and turn it.
You're killing me there, James.
It is something like
Some people are weird enough to do it, man. I'm just saying.
And you know what? He's also not wrong. And this is Las Vegas.
Those roaches are closer to. Those roaches got closer to the wrestling stars than we'll ever be sometimes. So hey,
it's true.
Hey, that's accurate.
Does this mean the roaches are the biggest marks in the industry right now?
Damn it, James.
Ed, I'm going to give you a traditional Super Studio standard for our favorite independent play-by-play wrestling caller. If you all know it, say it with me on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Damn it,
James, you freaking idiot.
Man.
Gosh.
Leave me alone.
But don't leave this alone, folks. Again, if you support professional wrestling, independent wrestling, and women's professional wrestling, go check out Podermania during the GCW Collective during WrestleMania week. Tickets on sale now. Follow this gentleman, follow the brochure, follow all these incredible young athletes on the social medias today, and get out there in April during WrestleMania weekend. I cannot wait to watch this show, and honestly, I might call it. I mean, heck, who knows? Because I got 2 of the GCW guys going to be there, I might literally be the play-by guy for everything this year.
Yeah, you probably
all the wrestling. Ed, we want to thank you for joining us and being part of this with us. You've got connection with me. If you end up putting matches together, you want to come on here, announce the full card, we'd love to have you come back, announce matches when you come up with them, even if it's just once a month giving an update on how Podermania is coming together. We'd love to have you back, good sir. And like I said, Walter and I have our tickets. We will be there for Podermania. We look forward to meeting you in person, enjoying the show, hopefully getting to talk to some of the girls and whatever.
Sure.
Thank you so much for your time, sir.
Oh, no problem. Thank you. I very much enjoyed this. It was like living the glory days in a way, back in the podcast days. So I really enjoyed
the on-glory days, depending on how you look at it.
Yeah. And
we had bad days.
I would love to come on and keep you updated about the show. And I also have a bunch of other crazy fucking stories that I could tell on just a different show. If you ever need someone to talk to, that's after Podermania. So
absolutely.
Yeah, I got all kinds of crazy stories about all kinds of crazy people in the wrestling business. So
do you have any with roaches? Any more roach stories?
James.
I'm kidding.
But yeah, thanks you guys. I very much appreciate it. Every little bit helps, so I very much appreciate you guys.
Thank you, brother.
Absolutely, and we, like I said, we appreciate you giving us your time, good sir. You have a good rest of your evening, and we look forward to seeing you in April.
Yep, live and in person.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you. There we go.
That
all right.
was awesome.
Yeah, very much so. Very awesome. I enjoyed that. And again, to Noah's point, There's the flyer one more time. Podermania, April 15th, 2026. That is the Wednesday kickoff for WrestleMania week, 3 p.m. Pacific. So that's 6 p.m. Eastern that it'll be happening. There's his tweet with some of the people that have been announced, people that he rattled off on the air here. Show your support. Support women's wrestling. Support independent wrestling. This is where you will see the stars of tomorrow today. 100%.
Accurate. Simple as that.
You never know which one of them will have a major title in a major company 5-10 years from now.
Yeah, it's real.
Definitely.
Whether they're bound for glory on the way to WrestleMania or truly they go double or nothing or somewhere else, you truly are seeing the future of the business flourish before your eyes, starting at a show that is for power in women's wrestling, Podermania.
Yep. All right, so we're going to run our watch-along trailer, show everybody some of the stuff that we will be covering here in the coming weeks and months. James, if you have to dip, feel free to dip. I totally understand. If you're able to keep kicking it a little bit longer, you know you're always welcome, good sir.
I unfortunately will have to go.
All right, well, before we run the trailer then, why don't you go ahead and show yourself?
Hello, everybody. Speaking of Natalia Markova, you guys can follow me on the YouTube, Instagram, and X at JHubertSide95, on Facebook, JCBetHuber, on the internet. We're not gonna show the graphics of my documentary, but it is gonna be coming soon. Literally, part of the reason I have to go is because we're on the final corrections of it now. So all 4 parts will be released. So go check out Gary Hebert, youtube.com/@GaryHebert, I think, or www.garyhebert.com for my uncle's documentary in full. So go check that out. And yeah, I've been, it's been a week for me. So if I'm in the bathroom, understand that this is just how it has to be, especially for Shenanigans time for the time being. But yeah, I'll see y'all. Hopefully I'll have a normal fucking schedule come next week.
Well, James, hopefully you finally get something positive in your life. Speaking of which, something!
Oh, hey.
No, it's Doyle.
Hold on,
Yeah,
listen.
one last
I was
time.
about to say, you know what? Now that you bring it up, I said for I don't even know how long now that if that motherfucker had a normal name and something was his gimmick name, that he would be over. AW was smart and they finally listened to the Heat Man. And guess what? His name's Jack Doyle now. So guess what? No more something.
But right now, it's official. Jake Something is all in. Congratulations to Jake Doyle. That is something.
Go jack your Doyle, James.
All right. James, thank you for being here for this. Greatly appreciate the fact you were here for this big moment.
Yes.
Again, we're going to run the watch-along trailer, and we'll see everybody in a little over a minute.
And now for a taste of things to come.
that trailer truly encompasses what we're about here at the Super Reliable Studios. We truly embrace, celebrate, engage, analyze, criticize, pontificate upon all the wrestling. Damn it.
It's been a good last couple of days, gentlemen. First things first, Nick, welcome in. Thank you for being so understanding about trying to keep things in order.
Seriously?
No problem, boys.
I appreciate the understanding. But yeah, man, it's been a great last couple of days. I've been notified by a very good friend of the Simply Reliable Studios that I will be attending House of Glory. I will be attending GCW. I will be attending Revolution. And now made official while we had Ed on the show, the Airbnb is locked in. Collective tickets and Podermania tickets have been purchased. Walter and I will be in Vegas for WrestleMania week. It is, Adam Pearce style, official now.
Good deal.
So my resolution, Ash, is already coming true because by Revolution, I will tie the number of shows that I went to last year with 3. Come WrestleMania, I'm going to shatter that. And there's the possibility, because I just discovered another show that's going to be out here in early March for Only Wrestlers, which is a venture that RVD runs. Kind of like the OnlyFans platform, but it's PG. It's not as X-rated as OnlyFans. It's a PG platform where you can communicate with wrestlers and whatnot. Apparently, they run shows. Are going to be running the Globe Theater, which is the same venue Hog is going to be at. Tessa Blanchard is their women's champion. So might be going there at the beginning of March. Get to see Tessa wrestle live, which means Revolution would shatter the Resolution.
Nice.
So this is already shaping up to be a fantastic year. How's everybody doing tonight? Now that we've gotten the business portion out of the way, we can kind of, unbutton the shirt a little bit and get into the normal antics here tonight.
As usual, I'm tired. And my countdown, of course, is back in full effect. But other than that, I'm all right. I mean, again, I saw Jake Something now go all elite, which, again, it's always awesome seeing somebody that you enjoy make his way up through the wrestling business to grander stages. I hope to see even more of that across all wrestling, especially women's wrestling. Megan Bayne is still legit badass as she wiped out the real deal. As I watched Collision, I rewatched Wrestle Kingdom. Still, my God, that show in that last 2 matches, and the send-off. And overall, it's just been a nice, quiet starting work week to the academic term that started off as a frenzy, but died down after Wednesday night. So overall, I'm feeling all right. Ready for church in the morning and rest in the afternoon, as always.
Walter, my man.
Yeah.
How are you feeling now that it's all locked in and official, bro?
Feeling good. I'm working on taking all the days off now. That's kind of why I was on my phone.
You got more than enough time to put your notice in.
Yeah, for real. That's what I'm going to have to do when I go to work next, because I already kind of talked to my manager about it. I've already kind of let them know, just kind of in passing, that I'm going to need these days off. How do I do it? How do I get paid for some of it? And I'm allotted 5 days of sick time, and we're going to be up there for 8 days. Right. So 2 days, and our schedules go Wednesday through Tuesday. So Tuesday, which is going to be the day we get there and travel, that's 1 day on 1 week. That can just be a throwaway day off. Monday and Tuesday, Monday and Tuesday of the following week can just be off days. My 5 days of sick time can be paid for Wednesday through Sunday. And then we come back the Wednesday after. That can just be a day off on the next schedule. So everything goes right. I get paid for as much as I can get paid for. I can still work as many days as they want to give me leading up to that Tuesday where we leave. I can work as many days as they want me to, not counting that Wednesday that I go home for the week after all that. Everything should be good. And I see joining us in the green room, the other half of the Canadian connection. Go ahead, give her the theme song, Noah.
Because truly, folks, she's yours, she's mine, she's our Canadian friend, Ash.
Too many people trying to produce.
I'm not doing anything but the comments. Whoever else is doing that.
Yeah, mine are free. I didn't touch anything.
Oh, you know what?
I swear, look.
She has producer credit too, so she was probably trying to bring herself in as I was trying to bring her in.
I was just unmuting, that's all.
An accidental push, but nonetheless, welcome to the conversation, Ash. Hello.
Thank you. Hello.
It's good that you were able to get home in time to see at least the tail end of that.
Yes. Yeah.
Because I put out the message to Datilla and Ash, how much I would love for them to be there for that as female wrestling fans talking to a promoter of women's wrestling.
Damn
but she was closing up work and on her way home, and Datilla unfortunately had other plans. So weren't able to be there for it, but Ash is here now. Datilla maybe will show up when her other plans are done. If we're still on the air and there's time.
Yeah. Priorities are passions, and also organization is key. If nothing else, I hope that Datilla or Ash can join me in calling Podermania, because I'm damn sure calling that show.
What would be awesome is if the girls could call it together, but with it being as early as it is on a weekday, I think Datilla works, Monday through Friday, kind of like 9 to 5 hours. Ash's schedule is kind of questionable, always up and down in the air, as retail do.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, that's not a thing, can't be a thing, but it would be cool if it could be.
Legit. I want to see Datilla and Ash call a simple women's wrestling show, or just a match, just like, we're two friends of wrestling. We like wrestling. Here's a match we both like. We like this person. I would just like to see these two actually call a match together on there, because I think that would just be legitimately fun. But nonetheless, hello,
Right?
Ash. How are you?
And it would be two women calling a match where they're not talking about just how hot the guy is.
Right.
Because they're actually two women that love and respect professional wrestling. It wouldn't just be, oh my God, he's so cute.
Well, I mean, I would say that for some women, be like, oh my God, she's beautiful. What the fuck? Oh my God, look at that powerful woman.
Yeah, we'll probably talk about how hot the women are.
Yes, exactly, right?
She did call Shuri and Saya Kamatani with some decorum, despite the fact she didn't know much about either. Fair enough.
I'll be real. Like the first thing, as soon as go figure me, right? As soon as I see Chris Brooks, oh damn, he a tall, lanky boy, isn't he?
Exactly.
First thing that comes out of my mouth.
What is it with you in the camera? Move,
Canadian, eh?
I
Anyway,
mean, Chris
nonetheless.
Brooks is English, but you know how I feel about the English, so.
Yeah, BLP, Canadian, English. They kind of sometimes can share some stuff. UK and Canada, they've had their tensions, I'm sure, in history, but that's a whole different conversation for
God
another
save
day.
the Queen.
Help her, Jessica. Non-copyright. Okay, JJ, go back to hosting.
So we talked a little bit, everybody. Nick, how are you doing tonight, good sir?
Not bad, boys and girls. Thank you for asking and giving him my questions. Y'all were hitting up with the hard questions.
Well, we were just kind of letting it free flow as to wherever it went, but I knew you would be there. I knew you had a question, so I knew that you would probably be there asking some stuff. So we appreciate
Nobody took my
that.
questions. Nobody took my questions, so nobody gets their butt touched. No butt stuff.
That's because they weren't super chatted, Nick. You forgot to super chat.
Bleed? Is it going to be bleeding?
There it is.
Don't need the bleeding bum holes.
Yeah. You know that's like one time a month that bleeding bum holes come out, so I don't think you really want that.
No. How is the missus, by the way, good sir? We asked you, how is the missus?
She's good. She is feeling better, which is nice. She does not have a bleeding bum hole, which is awesome. So,
Any new smut books?
honey, any new smut books? Oh. No.
Gotta do the shtick with James gone, because you know he'd be giving us crap for doing it with him here.
55 minutes and counting.
Shut up, Noah. Look, there's not a whole lot to talk about tonight, aside from the interview. I figured we would kind of go over, you did a watch along for Dynamite this week. Walter and I did a watch along for Raw and for NXT. I just figured we'd kind of talk about that stuff, if we're being honest. So just keep it simple. There's not a whole lot news and noteworthy to really get into. The most noteworthy news thing that I heard is Killer Kelly's contract with TNA has expired.
What?
So she is no longer a TNA knockout. Don't know if she's going to go elsewhere. Don't know if Ryan brought up the point in a space earlier. Maybe this is a negotiation tactic to get Myron Reed locked into a contract because he was just on a per appearance deal. Maybe they just let her contract expire so that they could try to lock him down and then get her locked back down, since they're a couple.
That's why I haven't seen Leon Slater versus Myron Reed for that championship yet. Because Killer Go.
But that's the most noteworthy thing. But without knowing where it's going to lead, I didn't want to get into it. You know what I mean?
I appreciate that.
I figured I'd mention it in passing because I know you don't click scroll, so you probably wouldn't know. And I know how much you like Killer Kelly. You even mentioned it while we had Ed here.
Freaking Rain Cough, man.
But let's go ahead. Let's rewind back to Monday Night Raw. Stranger Things combination, counter event. The visuals were cool. I know me and Walter really enjoyed the opening camera shot where the camera shot turned upside down to enter the upside down.
Mm-hmm.
And the vines on the rails and the barricades. Other than that, it seemed like it was pretty standard fare. New women's tag team champions was cool. We had the Kabuki Warriors lose the titles. For whatever reason, I'm blanking on who they lost them to.
Riho.
Yes, thank you, Rhea and Io. I've watched so much wrestling this week because I've been off of work most of it. The shit's kind of like bleeding out, trying to remember what happened where.
That's fair.
So yeah, Rhea and Io are tag champs now. I think this is a solid thing. I think they're really trying to bring attention to the women's tag division now. Finally, I know you'll believe it when you see it.
Mm-hmm.
I know. But I think with starting with Charlotte and Alexa and then going to the Kabuki Warriors and now going to Io and Rhea, it really seems like they're trying to put some of their big stars in the tag division. I see two reasons for this. Number one, and I'm not saying this to be tribalistic, but I think a lot of it has to do with AEW's women's tag division. I think they're trying to put some of their top names in the tag division with the titles to type kind of, hey, yeah, that's great. They're doing it too, but look at who we have as our champs. And the second reason, and I mentioned this to Walter on commentary, I know every tag team doesn't need to have a bitter breakup, but considering they were kind of strange bedfellows to begin with, I think this is going to inevitably lead to the Rhea Ripley heel turn, where she's finally going to get her victory over Io Sky. Because keep in mind, at this point, she still has never beaten Io. Keep your friends close and your enemies closer. If you can't beat them, join them. two very popular phrases. Rhea's got Io right where she wants her. She's going to learn her strengths, learn her weaknesses by being her best friend. So when she turns on her, she's finally going to be able to get her victory over Io Sky. I'm calling it now. I called it on the watch along. Walter can co-sign with me because he was there. I'm saying it now. Just watch. If they do an evolution this year, after the success of last year's, Rhea Io Evolution 3, Rhea finally gets her victory. Crickets. Wow. I expected some comments to that.
Well, actually, that's not crickets. This is.
Damn it. No.
Let it breathe because I think that's what they're doing it too.
I've already talked about Monday Night Raw ad nauseum on the Naughty Q review. Say, yeah, the Naughty Q, folks. Tuesday night, 7 p.m. Standard Time, where, of course, we represent the Zip Up Studios. If you haven't subscribed today here. Suppose that. Blah, meh, yawn. But at the end of the day, Rhea Ripley, champion last year on the Intuit Dome premiere Netflix, beating Liv Morgan. This year, she's now the tag champion. If you're going to keep Io Sky and Rhea Ripley out of the title picture for now, and they really don't have a women's world world championship division, to the point the champion's trying to become relevant again due to an injury angle with Raquel Rodriguez, is the Tiffany Stratton and Nia Jackson Monday night, folks. This is what you do. But hey, they tried a square, then we went to a pentagon, then we went to the freaking hexagon, then the septagon, now we're an octagon. You know what I'm saying? The women's tag division, WWE, since Inception. You add another line to the side, and you see what you make of it. So we'll see what happens here. It would not surprise me one bit that one of the two strange NFL teams, whether it's Charlotte and Bliss or Rio and Io, turn on each other. At least it won't be a fake prop skateboard that botches on Impact. But nonetheless...
God damn.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I say that out loud? But nonetheless...
You did say that out loud, and I understand that reference, and I still shake my head at that.
But nonetheless... we'll see what happens. I'll give it a chance. But hey, if you're going to try and do something great, should you do it great out the gate? We'll see what happens, all right? I like your thinking, but does it excite me? Not the slightest.
Then we had Becky Lynch defeat Maxine Dupree to reclaim the Intercontinental Championship.
Disappointed in that because of the whole Natty with the scenario you and I came up with. It would have been way better played.
What's even more disappointing is the fact that frickin' title is 1 year old now, has been turned to nothing more but a hot potato prop with an overrated Trump-acting ginger.
At least it's being booked better than the U.S. title over in SmackDown. At least give
The
it
U.S. title. The U.S. title already has 2 repeat winners.
IC only has 1.
Nonetheless, both mid-card titles are being reduced to irrelevancy with this constant internal limited switching.
I mean, I get what they were trying to do with the finish, but it just wasn't executed very well.
Yeah.
If this was the original...
Go ahead, Walter.
If this is the original plan, she should have never won the title in the first place, to be honest.
Exactly. Because I believe firmly that Becky and AJ, if that's where they're going with this, doesn't need the IC title.
It doesn't! Maxine and Natty does! You want Natty to finally win a championship! It's not gonna happen!
Especially her
Thea Hale will win another championship before Natty does.
Natty's family is synonymous with the IC title. Like
I think that Thea Hale one was a one and done there, buddy.
Hey, I will not hear any slander about Thea Hale. There's a reason why I put her in the updated intro.
Hold on. Time out. This is going to be a moment. This is a New Year moment. This is a once-in-a-lifetime moment. You all better remember me saying this. Thea Hale will be champion again. Natty won't.
Clip that.
Why do you think I gave him the solo shot?
Well, that's definitely
No.
YouTube short.
If you literally say those words out loud, the AI just does it automatically. That's why I said it.
I know.
But yeah,
All right, what else
like
happened on this snooze fest?
Natty is synonymous. Her family synonymous with the IC title. She should have been the inaugural one, regardless. But whatever.
Yeah,
But the
agreed.
fact that
Brett,
Natty's
Owen, Bulldog, all IC
All
champions.
You're talking about me being the historian. I'm not the only historian here, folks, believe it or not, that actually gives a damn about women's wrestling legacy and pedigree when it comes to a foundation of this industry. Nonetheless, though, you also are trying to create a new star, Maxine.
Well, I mean, let's be honest. We're talking about the Hearts, and you don't have to be Canadian to watch Heart matches.
Although some Canadians have it.
Shut up.
That's why I said that. Love you, Ash.
Canadians have no heart.
What's the blue moon? What's the blue? Hey, first off, this man I know has a heart because she's a bloody techer. Damn it, she's a young punk. Secondly, Ash, if I don't get you at least once in a while, I'm not doing my job.
Exactly.
Don't worry, Ash. I'm with you. I haven't watched a Heart match either, so.
See, you're not alone.
Okay.
What up?
We need
What
to
up,
correct
homie?
this. We need to correct this. Your guys' homework.
Oh, God damn it.
Your guys' homework before you report back to Shenanigans next Saturday. And I know you can do this because the stuff has been migrated over from Peacock to Netflix.
Yes.
WrestleMania 10. Watch Brett versus Owen.
The best opening matches, yeah.
Maybe in August.
For me, it's a toss-up between Brett versus Owen and Eddie versus Ray from Mania 21.
Oh, that's a good show.
As the best opening match. And I'm a little bit
agree.
partial to Eddie and Ray because I was there.
Oh,
nice.
I think
you better say. Go ahead, Nick.
But,
no, I was gonna say I think being as one of the helping out more with the watch-alongs, we should make that a segment.
I was thinking
that full match is right here on YouTube.
I was thinking in August, it's the first ever 2-night SummerSlam. Maybe we should do a retro watch along of 1992 SummerSlam, and you guys will have to call Brett versus British Bulldog.
Ooh, I heard that.
Match that brought me in the business.
Nice. My mom watched that match, and I wasn't even born yet, so I was still in my mom's tummy while she was watching it.
I just remember watching this spectacle, and I was like, I still resonate with it to this day. Because my mother.
That is arguably one of the greatest Intercontinental title matches of all time.
Legit.
For me, it's probably 1A, 1B between that and WrestleMania 3 Savage Steamboat.
Okay, that's fair because.
And me and Noah actually did a watch long of WrestleMania 3. I still have all of those saved from 1 through 12.
You know,
we need to get back into that at some point and get caught up.
And that means 13, which, oh God, we gotta do that Iron Man match again.
Well, no, 12 was the Iron Man match.
12 was the Iron Man match, so we're good. But nonetheless, to JJ's point, I mean, we just called it Rush Tanahashi's retirement. We compare Tanahashi to Rick of the Dragon Steamboat. I'm just saying. Rick of the Dragon Steamboat is one of the most pure athletes ever.
But yeah, that is your guys' homework. Is before next week's Shenanigans, watch Brett versus Owen.
I'm trying to save the link, but it's not letting me.
Don't worry.
It's on Netflix. It's on Netflix. The whole pay-per-view.
That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to save the YouTube link so I can watch it.
It's those two IC title matches, and it's Hart versus Mr. Perfect too.
Oh, that's a good shout. Yeah, that's a good shout. I heard that was really good too.
I mean, Mr. Pearl is one of the best Intercontinental champions. I mean, he was perfect. I mean, period.
Yeah, the perfect IC champ. Am I right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
There you go, Ash.
Thank you.
I said to you via Messenger. Watch it, enjoy it, and review it.
Perfect pun.
But
I did not mean to make that a pun because I'm not a pun man, but you know what? I'll allow it.
The main event for Rob was kind of what it was. Punk and Braun was a solid match.
Yeah, that was the main event. I forgot that match happened. Okay, this is really sad. I'm a CM Punk fan, and I forgot that match happened.
That shit was a rough match, though.
Punk retained, and I was just like, I wasn't sold on it because as much as I wanted Punk to win, I feel like if Braun is going to be, knighted the next guy, I think it needs to happen at Mania.
Agree.
Mm-hmm. After all, that's where the boyhood dream came true for Shawn Michaels. So,
It did, yeah.
you
In the
get that
Iron
big
Man,
crowning
right?
moment at Mania.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like with everything that was going against Punk, like I'm kind of surprised Braun didn't take it. And then with the contingent of Penta, Dragon Lee, and Rey Mysterio all coming out to kind of counteract the Vision. All three luchadors, by the way, who have AEW history, as Rey Mysterio was at the inaugural All In before AEW became a thing.
2018.
I noticed that. I called that out on commentary as well, because I feel
very
like
proud of
that was a little, dig there. I figured if Jericho was going to debut, that would have been the perfect time to do it, because then he could have gone after Heyman. You have another ex-AEW guy, plus you got Jericho's ties to the original ECW. But I don't know. I just feel like with everything that was going against Punk, it would have been very easy to give Braun the dub here, and they just didn't do it.
They didn't pull the
I
trigger.
think that was, well, you just mentioned Jericho. I think that was part of the disappointment of that Raw, is that so
Yes,
many
because
people expected
everybody was
Yeah.
expecting Jericho, and especially the way that Pierce talked about who's going to break the walls down, or who's
And then
going to
Corey-
break down the walls, and there were learning tree references. Someone
Yep.
did a code breaker. Someone did a lion tamer. Like, it's like all these little clues were being dropped, and then there was no Jericho.
Yeah,
Y'all got
Backseat
trolled.
Dupree did the Lion Chamber.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all got trolled into oblivion just for the King of Pops to give you nothing but a snuff.
Hey, there's rumors that he wants to go to TNA. Like, he wants to do a pop at TNA. That'll be crazy. But
Which, let's give a shout to the phenomenal one who was announced is going to be on TNA for the premiere episode this week.
I called it.
Looking forward to seeing what happens there. I know Noah is kind of like, meh. See if he does more than just talk. And I get where Noah's coming from. Me and Noah are both kind of the mindset of, I'd rather they just surprised me.
Yep, me too.
But I think they're really trying to get the ratings on that inaugural episode, and that's why they announced him. But shout out to AJ for going home. Let's see what they do. Let's see if we get maybe AJ versus Leon Slater, coming down the road here. Let's see if we get any other TNA people from WWE going home. They've got the Machine Guns. They've got R-Truth. There's a lot of guys they could pull. They've got Jordan Grace, who you saw made her way into the new intro with Jade. I meant to ask you two in the top row here, who were here when I played the new intro. What'd you think about the new additions?
It's a good idea, considering it's a new year and we're trying to see something actually evolve in the big companies. And
Exactly.
especially right now, it seems like there are some subtle changes. I like what you did.
Me too.
I do want to update the actual Shenanigans part in due time, but that's going to take a lot of time going through all the episodes and finding highlights, especially when James hasn't come up with highlight clips for the last 2 years yet.
Exactly.
But, I figured I would at least update the Beavis and Butthead channel surfing portion.
Yeah.
So,
Good start.
Thank you.
If Jericho popped up on that TNA, that would be the most left field shit. Like, but it would be a rating popper.
Think about it. Then Jericho, I think, would be the only person who wrestled for ECW, WCW, WWF, WWE, Ring of Honor, New Japan, Mexico. I forget if it was AAA or CMLL. Irrelevant at this point. And then to wrestle for TNA also. He's the only guy I think that would have wrestled for every major promotion out there.
I think you'll be correct.
And won championships in virtually all of them.
TNA is the only one left.
Yeah. And whether he becomes TNA champion or tag champion or X Division champion or international champion doesn't even matter. If he gets some form of gold there, I think he will have gotten championships in every major company.
Yep.
And that's crazy when you think about it.
It is beyond like balls to the walls, but like seriously,
It's crazy. But going back to Raw, one of the other things of disappointment is that they called up Javon Evans and you signed his contract during a commercial break. Like that would have been a huge pop, and especially for like Geekbox that gets all the streamers. If you would have did that, but I guess they wanted it for the YouTube views, I guess. But still, like, kind of disappointing that all these other people are getting on TV signing stuff, and then he doesn't.
Yeah, I mean the people that have the Netflix International, I think, got to see it as long as they don't have the ads, but in America we didn't. So it does suck that we didn't see that portion, but it is what it is. You know, I look forward to seeing Javon on Monday nights. I think he's going to be a good addition to Raw. I'm curious how they're going to use him, you know, but I also kind of wonder if they're going to make a play to maybe buy Leon Slater out of his contract so they can put them together as a tag team, because Raw's tag division sucks.
Yes, it does.
Raw's tag division is worse than the women's tag division. And the women's tag division goes across 3 brands technically.
Brands without LL, but it makes more sense.
You know, so I'd be curious to see if they try to buy Leon Slater out of his deal or utilize him more on the main roster, since he was on Saturday night's main event. See if they're going to use them as a tag team going forward.
Well, either way, it sounds like I didn't miss much. And thank you to WWE Matches on YouTube for preventing me from watching this Snorefest on Netflix.
It actually wasn't a bad show. The pacing was good. The matches were decent. I think they just could have done more with the Stranger Things crossover, because me and Walter were calling for like some of the stars to appear. We really wanted to see like Millie Bobby Brown interact with Rhea Ripley. Like, I think that would have been awesome, but none of the stars appeared. Not even like the B and C tier stars of the show. Like, there was nobody from Stranger Things on the show. Just props and whatnot.
I find that hilarious, especially as someone who doesn't give a flying fuck about Stranger Things.
And it is a little weird to promote.
When you think about all the freaking Netflix people that they usually have in the audience, like they couldn't get anybody for this.
And it is a little weird.
Really is a head scratcher. Go ahead, Walter.
It's weird that they promoted it after it ended.
Yeah. Like, they should have done this tie-in before the finale dropped.
Yeah.
But, you know, whatever. That's the only thing, is the lack of actual Stranger Things interaction, and then the lack of Jericho after it being hyped. But overall, I'd say the rest of the show was a good 8 out of 10. It was a solid show, in my opinion.
Dude, Punk looked like he got banged up, dude, man. Them two went at it.
For real. From there, we'll go ahead and do NXT next, because that did technically come next in the week, even though we did it after Dynamite.
Chronologically, it was next.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, New Year's Evil was a good show. I do hate the internet sometimes, because I knew what happened, because it's everywhere on the internet. But knowing what happened allowed me to actually have a graphic ready for a match that we otherwise would have been unprepared for. Show started with Thea Hale coming out to defend her title. Blake Monroe attacked her, was thrown out of the building. Ava took away her title opportunity. said that I'm not going to reward bad behavior, basically, and was thrown out of the building. Later in the night, Ava's backstage with Thea and Jordan Grace in the women's training room. Thea really wants to defend her championship. She wants to prove that she deserves it. She wants to prove that she's supposed to be champion. You know, the valiant fighter that my girl is. So despite Ava's better judgment, she allows Thea to do an open challenge. Izzy Dame comes out, who had already fallen to Tatum Paxley. So their series is now tied at 1 apiece. Izzy Dame is your new Women's North American champion. Yes, you're right, she lost it, but you're wrong about who she lost it to, so I'll still say fuck you for jinxing my girl. But I told Walter, with Izzy and Tatum tied at 1 apiece, I think this is a way to move the title to Tatum.
What a person to pick to get the title, though. Jeez.
When they have their rubber match now, it'll be for the North American Championship, and Tatum will take the title off of Izzy. Which, let's be real, Tatum wouldn't have beaten Blake, and you wouldn't want Tatum to dethrone Thea because it's face and face. So doing this that way, if that's the end goal, makes sense. But because of the open challenge and because Izzy's the one that accepted it, I was able to basically cut the Tatum-Izzy picture in half, paste Izzy over Blake so that I had a Thea and Izzy graphic for the open challenge. So spoilers on the internet actually came in handy for this time.
Interesting.
Obafemi versus Leon Slater. Fucking Meltzer 7-star classic. I don't give a shit what Meltzer says about it. That shit went so fucking hard. Oh my God. Oba retained. And then you go backstage and Ava is talking to basically the Evolve locker room. And she's telling them, you know, with Trick being signed, with Jordan leaving, with Javon leaving, there's going to be a lot of opportunities and slots on the NXT roster. Robert Stone bursts in the door. Ava, did you see what Oba did? No. Cut back to the ring and the championship is sitting in the ring. Oba left it as he got his call up as well. We've been seeing his vignettes on Raw and SmackDown. Oba left the title in the ring.
Well, at least he's got a better chance of getting a WrestleMania win record versus the last person that left NXT virtually undefeated.
We don't talk about that, Noah. How dare you?
Yeah, that's Bruno's status. We don't talk about Asuka.
I didn't say the name now, did I?
No, but just for anyone out there watching that didn't know who Noah was talking about, got to at least say the name once.
Well, you know, it was my NXT!
It's not the other guy where we say his name and he appears. So
accurate.
And she's not the boogeyman. God damn it.
Nick.
Nick!
Big ups to the Scottish.
That got it. The one time that comes off freaking microphone was to freaking do a gimmick.
It's Nick. What do you expect?
Accurate.
But yeah, so Oba's left the ring with the title in the ring, you know. There's the question about, well, if Oba was going to leave anyway, why not just drop the title to Javon Evans? Or to Leon Slater, excuse me. I keep getting them mixed up. I don't know why. It's because they've been teaming together, I think. Forgive me. Don't botch me.
I'm not going to botch you on that because, like you said, it's 1A and 1B when it comes to who's more bouncy versus one who's been more impactful.
So the question is, why didn't Oba just lose it to Leon? Then you could have had Leon Slater with the NXT Championship on the Impact debut. You know, even if he lost it the next week, at least you've got the championship on the show. But whatever. So this week on NXT, Ava is going to make an announcement about the future of the championship. And me and Walter were kicking around a great idea. And I want to run it by you guys. And I'm especially curious about your thoughts of this, Noah.
Try me.
So the easy thing, the obvious thing would be to do a tournament, crown a champion at their next pay-per-view, PLE, which is usually in February.
Vengeance Day.
I say don't do it that quick. I say let the tournament build and actually culminate and crown the champion and stand and deliver. And you can do a huge tournament instead of a small little 8-man or even 16-man tournament. You can do like a 32-person tournament. Because by the math that Walter and I did, you've got like 13 or 14 episodes of television between now and the NXT prior to Stand and Deliver.
Yes.
You've got NXT talent. You've got Evolve talent. You've got Impact talent. You've got AAA talent. And you can even open it up to people on the main roster who have been NXT champion. Since names like Johnny Gargano, Sami Zayn, Carmelo Hayes, Trick Williams haven't really, I know Melo's the US champion and Trick just debuted, but it gives an opportunity for them to come back, challenge for the championship, put over somebody on the way up, and, kind of give the illusion that if one of them were going to win the title, then the title would be showcased on Raw or SmackDown. But you open it up to all those different brands that WWE has their hands in the cookie jar in. You've got Mr. Iguana challenging in the tournament. You've got Psycho Clown. You've got help me out here because I don't watch AAA all that much. Name some of the other people there. Who's Psycho Clown's partner?
Boop, boop, boop.
Damn, I forget his name too.
Is it La Parca on there or something?
It's not him. It's. I keep wanting to say Paragon, but I know that's not it. But it's Pagano. Thank you. I know it's something like that. Pagano. Throw him in there. Put Moose in there. Put Leon back in there. Put Nick Nemeth in there. He's a former NXT champion.
Mr. Record Scratch himself.
Can you imagine Gunther being involved in it and then AJ screws him out of it? You could further their rivalry.
Exactly. Put Gunther in it. Put Ilya in it. Put Pete Dunne in it. Give the opportunity for Pete Dunne to lose the stupid Americano mask for a couple of matches as he works to put over some of the young talent down there.
I almost forgot he existed.
Let Tyler Bate do it, the other Americano. But you've got all of this talent. Then you can put guys like Jack Cartwheel, Marcus Mathers, Brad Baylor, Ricky Smokes, Jackson Drake in there. Josh Briggs. There's so much talent across those rosters that you could make a massive tournament that culminates with the final two guys at Stand and Deliver to crown the new champion. And then you get people invested into tuning in every week to see who's going to go further in the tournament. And if you actually bring in TNA guys, you can maybe even do a match or two on Impact. Because we've already got the NXT TNA crossover. So if the brackets just so fall, where maybe you get let me see, what would be a good match here? maybe somebody like an Eddie Edwards versus a Josh Briggs. That could be on an episode of Impact. A live episode, that way you don't worry about giving away taped results, but nonetheless. No, I'm going to start with you. What are your thoughts on that?
There's potential if WWE is bold enough to do something like that. But when it's prime edition, do an overtime battle royal or some sort of gauntlet match, honestly, because this is WWE we're talking about. But I like the idea how you're trying to give some shine to more than just the NXT brand itself. I also incorporating other interpromotional partners. I haven't seen a tournament the likes of this potential from your booking standpoint since the Cruiserweight Classic back, of course, in 2016, where we had matches like,
Yo, that was so good. Oh my God, that's a throwback.
Zack Sabre Jr., of course.
That was my introduction to him, by the way. Was the Cruiserweight Classic.
I figured you were going to say that. And of course, Grand Metalik, I could go on and on. Johnny Gargano versus Tommaso Ciampa, and the voices of Marinello and Brian Danzig calling that. Everything about that tournament was perfect. They haven't had a perfect tournament since. Although I will get the Mae Young Classic, it's just due. Both those tournaments were quite well done as well.
Can you believe that happened 10 years ago?
Right? Ain't that something?
Something!
You know what's funny? You mentioned that because the Cruiserweight Classic happened in June. I was thinking about revisiting the whole tournament in June.
Hey, there you go. Again, stay tuned, folks. Batty for Wrestling. Batty's channel. It's Genesis. A New Beginning. Also coming New Beginning next month. Stay tuned for further content. But yeah, your tournament definitely has potential and bringing more eyes to all these wrestling products, which is more important to me than NXT as a whole. But also the NXT Championship, it actually might be of value again to whoever wears it, because at the end of the day, no one is going to be as impressive as Obafemi out the gates. They got a lot of rebuilding to do. Because basically, you're NXT right now. The only person they got of value is Ricky Saints and Ethan Page.
I sadly agree because they just lost Javon Evans. I still see great things in Josh Briggs. They just have to seriously rehab him after the stuff with Inamura. And not that run was bad, because shout to Yoshiki Inamura, now the Noah champion. But
weird.
You know, I just think that he needs a little bit of rehabbing, going from a match of the year candidate with him, Dijak, and Oba, right? For the North American title.
Correct.
To now he's like an afterthought.
Yep.
But I could definitely see Josh Briggs as that guy. He's got the build, he's got the look, he's got the attitude, he's got the ability.
He's also got the tenure.
He's just got to get that oomph to get him to that next level.
We'll see if WWE exploits that, because if nothing else right now, WWE needs to exploit the potential in what was left in NXT versus what they're trying to bring in to say that Evolve to NXT. So we'll see, but I like your idea.
Which, and to the bringing in Evolve, it appears as if, I don't know if it's official Adam Pearce style yet, but it appears as if the Vanity Project, Jackson Drake, Brad Baylor, and Ricky Smokes are now officially members of the NXT roster. Which, good on them. Let me get the titles on the fucking swipe right. We need a solid heel team as the tag champions.
But you got that in Dark State, of course.
No, I said a solid heel team.
Mm-hmm.
Dark State has go away heat, and Swipe Right has the I want to punch you in the face, but it's because you're good at your character.
Swipe Right would be on the level that Pretty Deadly was.
Mm-hmm. That's a bold take, considering former longest reigning NXT UK Tag Team Champions.
Well, I'm serious. I mean, if you think about Pretty Deadly's gimmick and you think about Swipe Right, it's pretty much the same gimmick. One's European, one's American. Walter dubbed them on the first episode of Evolve we did, the guys with the most punchable faces.
Really?
Because they are those pretty boys that are going to move in and try to pick your girlfriend up, and you just want to reach back and knock them out one for trying.
Okay. I will take your analysis into consideration, and I will draw my own some point when I look at them for something that might matter on WWE matches. Because as far as I'm concerned, the only name that ever mattered from Evolve was Kendall Gray for me.
Pretty Deadly are definitely more flamboyant, but I see the potential in Swipe Right to be that same style of heel tag team. So let them get the straps, and they will just be insufferable.
I'll take your word for it.
Like as over the top as Chelsea was as US champion, and I do pledge allegiance to my hot mess, but as insufferable as she was, that's the level I could see these guys getting. And with Jackson Drake still having the Evolve Men's Championship.
That's right, they do have a match.
I'm just saying, then you've got gold on all three of them, and that just makes them even worse. Which, shout out to the real deal Zeta Steel, now with Skyflight over in AEW.
Yep.
That was a fumble on WWE's behalf because she fit perfectly with their gimmick. Perfectly. But it seems as if she's with her man now in real life, because I heard she's with Dante, or Darius, one of the two she's with, so.
It's amazing how much relationships really change a professional wrestler's choices.
So that basically covers NXT. I didn't watch Dynamite because I had to work, so I'll make the hot tag to Noah come in, and him and Walter can take over for Dynamite.
Yeah, well, Wednesday.
And then on top of that, even though there wasn't a watch along, but if you want to add any thoughts, if you watched Impact or Collision, I did watch Collision via a space watch along.
Mm-hmm.
Missed some of the main event, but I saw everything else. But if you want to go ahead and cover that stuff as well, sir.
Sure, I'll keep it simple because I do here. Yeah, it was Wednesday. You know what that means? It was the first Dynamite 2026, and it kicked off with a bang as we look towards the future of the AEW Women's Division, the Continental Championship, Maxwell Jacob Freeman's first opponent, and we put the lights out when it comes to the Ops versus Heyman Page and Swerve Strickland. And we also celebrate with our smiling face of TBS with cake on a Monet's face. So they put, though, it certainly was something. Speaking of which, something is now all elite, and it's Jake Doyle, of course, now part of the Don Callis family, where I almost thought Mark Davis had a twin brother. That is super weird how similar.
Yo, that was so weird, that team.
Right? The fuck?
And then Don Callis. That wasn't the only surprise Don Callis family had for that night.
Yeah, no kidding, right? And of course, that changed the dynamic of the six-man. But let's go to your match, Walter, because as a fan of traditional wrestling, Sheldon Benjamin and John Moxley gave you a sleeper clinic.
Yeah, hard hitting back and forth where Shelton tried to take advantage of on John Moxley's leg. He looked fine at the beginning coming out. He wasn't showing ling or anything from previous injury, but man, when Shelton got a hold of him, I said it. If Brock Lesnar's the mayor of Suplex City, fucking Shelton is the governor, because like holy shit, like these two went back and forth. It was a match, and then in the end, Moxley retained, but Shelton they shook hands and they had respect for one another. But they literally Moxley won the match when he reversed what was it?
It was a triangle, remember? Because all the shoulders.
Triangle. Yeah, he had the triangle choke, but Moxley was able to reverse and put his shoulders down. With literally, it had to be 15 seconds maybe left before the 20 minutes ran out.
For the 20 minutes.
Yeah. So had the 15 seconds expired, then Shelton, we'd be talking about Shelton getting the official title match. So, but unfortunately the time ran out. But man, they did it. I mean, unfortunately he got the 3, so it was a perfect setup. And the way he reversed the triangle, Moxley did it by the skin of his teeth to won that match.
It was 5 seconds left, Walter, on the clock. 5 seconds left.
Oh yeah, look at that.
Yeah, and again, first time ever.
15.
First time ever, by the way, folks. John Moxley and Shelton Benjamin shared a ring together in any capacity. Again, it goes back to how underrated Shelton Benjamin is, despite the fact he's 10 years older than John Moxley and is almost 50 and looks better than ever. So great matches. John Moxley again proves what the Continental Championship truly presents, but also what professional wrestling means him and what he wants elite wrestling to represent. As we move on from there, we wonder who Jungle Jack Perry was going to get as tag team partners as Jet Speed was neutralized, facing the demand, followed by Don Callis' bounty, and also with help of something. Now Jake Doyle, I'm not going to get used to that name, by the way, because why is your last name a freaking fruit brand? I don't understand. But nonetheless, it was the Young Bucks coming back to form. We had a fun little trios match, and I do mean quite fun to form. Tassos and the Bucks galore. No pyro, no overrated gimmick. It was the Bucks of old, kicking it in the business once again. And they did get a great win. And then they got their ass kicked by Don Callis' family's entirety, including the return of La Sombra showing up again, Andrade El Idolo. What I don't understand, though, is why FTR came out of the entranceway with Small Stoke in a chair and eyeing, I think, Andrade more than anybody else. Are we getting some other business happening here? Or I don't know if FTR is scouting future opponents.
I just put 2 and 2 together. And now I see where El Idolo really got the money to be the financial backing in New Japan. It was from Don Callis.
You know what? That's a fair shout. Although the Sombra, again, he does have history. Ingobernable. I mean, hell, it's Tetsuya Naito that brought him the freaking Los Ingobernables de Japón in the first place. So I don't know if I would give Don Callis all that credit, but I do understand what you mean.
Yeah, to get enough money to be the financial backing of them, it had something to do with some deal with Don Callis, probably.
No, wouldn't surprise me. And then, of course, we go to our next match, a little exhibition, as Bandito went one-on-one with Sammy Guevara, actually, for the first time ever. I was quite surprised how well Sammy and Bandito really gelled off each other here and how much Sammy was able to counter offense Bandito to the point that he even countered offense, 21 plex, landed on his feet, hit the GTH on Bandito, wasn't enough to put him away, and as he was looking to hit the final shot, Bandito turned 360 and clocked him with a knee in position to the 21 plex to get the 3. Very impressive sleep exhibition. As of course,
Sammy looked good though.
Yeah, right. As of course, MJF came out and with John Cruz as translator, spoke in Espanol. By the way, kudos to Watson, muchas gracias, by the way, for the translation. As Bandito says, "I speak American, you idiota." And basically said, "Don't underestimate me," and then hit a 21 plex on his favorite scumbag who sold that like $1 million pesos. As of course, Bandito will be challenging MJF for the AEW Men's Championship. This
Yeah.
DAMMIT will be
That was funny. Bandito said, "I speak English, pendejo." Dumbass.
Yeah, you didn't have to translate that at all, did you?
No.
And of course, we got further hype on Kenny Omega, who also returns to action this week on Wednesday. Of course, another person who will be coming after MJF, as well as Brody King was looking to bring Vance and break out maybe because his own singles star this year and get singles gold. And then we go from there with the happiest celebration with my favorite trios of champions right now in women's professional wrestling in the business. As Will Nightingale with the babe that brings the wrath and Harley Cameron, and the cosmic killer that right now is holding down the women's division, Chris Daddy Statlander, as they all celebrate their accomplishments and what it means right now to lead this women's division. I don't know what you call this trio, but I fucking love this trio. Great match.
And they literally, I said somebody's going to crash the party. And Willow got ahead of it and actually invited someone to crash it out. Come out.
Everyone's favorite CEO, Mercedes Monet, as she talked about again how long you held this title. You made me fight to get this in a match I've been waiting to do literally 2.5 years for. And honestly, it was just respect. And then Monet had a conniption fit. And before we could cool her down, she went face first into the cake inadvertently after Harley Cameron sidestepped her and Willow. And basically from there, we were not done planting the cake where it didn't belong, as the bit with the powerbomb planted Monet with the cake in the ring, and Renee, Harley, Willow, and Chris had a conga line to celebrate.
Really quickly, someone just popped in the green room. Let's go ahead and bring teleporting in via the Morphin Grid. Our very own Pink Ranger is here.
Hey, everybody.
Hey,
She made
Datilla.
it before it was time to roll the credits.
So was Noah's talking about RESPECT? Find out what he
That's a
means.
little bit. Not copyright. Not copyright. But I do
And
like the,
Noah, you asked about what we call the trio. So Willow tweeted this out earlier. She said, "Are we the Cosmic Babes of Wrath? Babes of Wrathlander? Saturday Nightingales, all right for Wrath?"
too long.
Yeah, she even was like, well, maybe not the last one. But anyways.
I'm going to go with Cosmic Babes of Wrath because I do like that because all three of these women are out of this world, and I love this Women's Championship summit.
I like the Babes of Wrathlander one.
Babes of Wrathlander is an interesting ploy, especially when it comes to, of course, the history of Willow Nightingale and Chris Statlander, and, of course, Harley Cameron, of course, now that is intercepted with these two.
You were saying, Datilla?
Oh no, I don't even know what you guys are talking about.
We're going over what happened on Dynamite, but I thought I stepped on you when I was saying the name that I preferred. So I was.
Oh no, it's all cool. Okay. Noah doesn't want us to do copyright, so can't be singing.
I don't need you singing Aretha Franklin, Queen of Soul. But
well, I mean, think about it, Noah. In the times she's done karaoke, she usually does it as spoken word. So if she's actually singing, let's give her the floor for a moment, you know.
No, you're still not going to change me on my aspect about that. That being said, before I continue, I did see something show up in the private chat for our. Thank you, for our amigo, Walter.
Rest in peace, something.
About to say that don't pour out the water, but you might want to,
No,
say,
I'm gonna bounce like Javon Evans because I gotta work at 5 a.m. So.
Fair enough, bro. We'll see you later this week for the AW Dynamite call. Until next time, adios.
All right.
And then
later, Walter, and thank you again, bro. I'm looking forward to it all.
On, folks, Rage of Wrestling, because Tiffany, still what you do. Not being said. All right, and then number 5. As we continue with our regularly scheduled programming, and there certainly is no problem with this panel, but boy, did Thomas Tony Storm had a problem. Actually took on Marina Shafir for the first time ever in a very rare situation on Dynamite AEW history. The match ended via disqualification when the Death Riders got involved blatantly in front of the official, but Shafir still knocked Tony Storm and Marina Shafir the fuck out and stacked them up like cornwood. As it seems the conglomeration is not done yet feuding with the Death Riders, and Orange Cassidy has not done with this timeless trios altercation, yes. As Roderick Strong came out to confront Claudio Castagnoli, but Claudio was fended off for now by Garcia, Scrappy with a Yuta, and Shafir. And also Orange Cassidy came down as slothful as usual, it's whatever, to pick up Thomas Toy Storm and Mina Shirakawa, each in one arm, and I do not know how I feel about this. Got to get the people what they want. Do the people want this? You tell me. This is crazy. I see JJ smiling.
No, I was just saying, so is timeless the word of the day?
Yes.
Well, that's one of the words of the day. I'll talk about my Briscoe talking about the TNT Championship in a moment, but let's see what JJ has to say real quick.
That's one of the few clips that I saw of Wednesday, and when I saw Orange Cassidy pick Tony up and spin her into one arm, and then pick Mina up and spin her in the other arm, and the way she was looking is like, I never was so envious of Orange Cassidy than I was in that moment.
Damn, who knew Orange had Riz, am I right?
For real, though, hey, with as much as the Rizzler has been around, he's probably been picking up some tips.
I mean, to be fair,
don't spit, Ash. Don't spit.
Who's been picking up tips from the other? He's not wrong for once, folks. Who's been picking up tips from the other, though? The Rizzler or Orange Cassidy? Orange Cassidy's always been dressed as a player. Just saying. But that being said, it was interesting, though, seeing Shafir and Timeless Tony Storm tango quite literally for a bit. Actually, mocked what Orange Cassidy and Thomas Tony Storm did during the match on multiple occasions. So, again, this is far from done with the Timeless one and the problem. Will you stop that? And again, I enjoyed this match, and it just leaves me wanting more of Shafir versus Blank because Shafir's a badass. And
really quickly before you go on, it's not a super chat per se, but we do have a comment from Emmanuel, who's been a member for 31 months.
Go ahead.
Datilla, who made Cena tap out like a bee.
Oh, Jesus.
You know what, Emmanuel? I'm actually not mad. I'm really not, because Cena did what he was supposed to do. He turned Gunter into a massive heel. So I ain't even mad that he made Cena tap out. Cena did what he was supposed to do. So I ain't mad.
There you go. The past is past. And now back to our Reggie schedule programming, not WWE. And back to AEW. Of course, we're not done there as the lights went out and we prepare for All Hell to break loose in a lights out tag team match as Swerve Strickland and Heyman Page, the most dangerous tag team I can remember in AEW history. They took on the Ops, Powerhouse Hobbs and Hook, and it was everything you expected. There was chains, there was cinder blocks. Hobbs is a freaking meat freak that cannot be taken down unless you literally stormed him in the head first with a cinder block. Hook ran like a bitch. Talk about beach. By the way, Okada was not on this show, but literally Hook was a beach as he tried to avoid Heyman's wrath and multiple times until he was able to T-bone the man off the apron to the floor and through a table. A lot of broken bodies, a lot of broken lumber, a lot of weapon play involved here. At the end of the day, Powerhouse Hobbs got crowned and Hook got hung as Swerve Strickland and Heyman Page did win in quite an emphatic fashion. By the way, shout out to Prince Nana, where even coffee came into play, trying to blind freaking Powerhouse Hobbs' eyes. Hobbs was the freaking object you had to try and kill, worse than something from Resident Evil that wouldn't stay down. It was ridiculous how effective Hobbs was here. I loved how they booked him. And overall, I thought this was just a fun kick up to the show. And again, MJF's got a lot ahead for him. Curious if Swerve and Heyman might continue as a tag team. How do you solve the problem? I don't know. And also, Darby Allin's trying to get free, and he forced Pot to accept this match where he was going to break his ankle. And the Don Callis family seems to keep increasing in numbers, and we keep conglomerating. Maybe Chris Statler is part of the conglomeration, but I enjoyed this time before it was Swerve, and it was a very fun show. But I'm also curious now who's going after John Moxley and the Continental Championship next, despite the fact he may be on one leg. But it was a fun 2.5 hours that flew by for me. Great kickoff, great follow from New Year's Smash. I enjoyed it. So before I move on to see how an impact was left, Ash, because I know you watch more AEW than WWE, or at least you keep up with more often, and you've been quiet, my dear lady. Do you have something to say regarding anything we discussed about Dynamite, or anything previously, considering JJ's been booking most of the night?
It sounds like I missed like a good Continental title match because I like both people involved. I'm happy Willow is the TBS champion. I like the Trios team. I would love to see those three take on the Triangle of Madness, are they called?
Well, guess what? Thekla and the Sisters of Sin have made it very clear they want a piece of that trio. And I believe they are going to be in action in a trios match at Maximum Carnage.
Yes, this Wednesday they will be in action. So
Nice. And I'm off Wednesday too. Hooray.
Let's freaking go!
So I know who will be on the watch along with you, Noah.
Hi.
Hello, Ash. Let's do it!
I'm also happy Chris Statlander's the AEW Women's Champion because I love her. I love her.
Damn it! She's got more charisma, more points than freaking Jake Parkhill. Continue.
I love how
you did not just disrespect Jay Carter in front of JJ.
Yes, I did, and I 100% approve my own statement because I know I'm right because there's more than BFAB and Meechum unless you want to get a match brought to you by Wingstop. How coincidental considering who she's in the ring with. Sorry, did I strike a nerve? Continue, Ash.
I love the program they have with Tony Storm and Orange. It's so adorable. I love that goofy shit in my wrestling.
This is beyond ridiculous, and I don't know why I like it either.
I just gotta say, I love getting Noah riled about Stat because he knows in his heart of heart, because I've told him 100 times, if they would just put Stat up against people that I don't like more than her, I would cheer her. But they constantly would have put Stat against people that I like more than her, going back to when she beat Jade. Stat versus Jade. I'm going for Jade. Stat versus Willow. I'm going for Willow. Stat versus Sky Blue or Julia Hart. I'm going for them. Stat versus Megan Bain. I'm going for Megan Bain.
Oh, God.
You want me to cheer for Stat? Put her up against people that I don't like more than her. It's not that I don't like Stat. I just like other people more than her.
That's fair.
And that's absolutely fair.
So that's why I love rubbing Noah the wrong way, because it's just like, Give me 25 matches of Stat versus Mercedes. I'm picking Stat every time.
There we go.
Give me Stat versus Candice LeRae. I'm picking Stat every time.
Different company.
I'm just throwing it out there, you know.
I know. Look, I'm waiting for Chris Statler versus Maria Shafir because I think that'll be a very interesting match. Considering
I probably would pick Stat over Athena, even though I do like Athena. I think I prefer Stat just a little bit to her.
Bottom line, it's Stat.
Diamante, yeah, I'll pick Stat. You know,
He's just going for the
there's
entire
people. There's people out there that I'll pick her over. They just don't get opportunities against her. So, you know.
Not yet. Well, again, they haven't shown us anything. They're definitely trying to see what opportunities they can present. And I want to see High End and Leah Cross also some point this year. Tony Khan just saying also, bring a fucking AEW pay to Ohio, not for damn California. Anyway.
Hey. California is Young Bucks. California is Young Bucks country.
Whatever. I don't care.
Yeah.
Y'all
You've
got
got John Moxley. So the best you could probably do is Cincinnati.
And Cleveland knows what AEW is about.
Cleveland rocks. Cleveland
You're
rocks.
supposed to make a Sam joke to Tilla. I love watching the Drew Carey show.
The best thing to come out of Cleveland, Ohio is Rick Wild, Thane Vaughn, Bone Thugs and Harmony, and Vandal 48.
Okay, I'll give you that. But also AIW. Let's give them some respect as well to Intense Wrestling. That being said,
Unfamiliar.
Fair enough. It's a clear promotion. It's also where John Gargano is out of. All right. Again, you're talking to an Ohioan here. Anyway, continue, Ash.
Where did I pick up? Oh yeah, I love how they have like so much opponents for MJF, and Bandito is having a title opportunity, right?
This Wednesday, Maximum Carnage.
Long live Banditoism. I freaking love Bandito. He is my dude.
Bandito's fucking amazing.
Banditoism. She's been hanging around with advocate spaces too much.
Hey, shout out to the advocate of Nokiism. He knows what's up. Awesome.
Hey, it's not just
Guterism died a slow death in like 48 hours.
Exactly.
We moved on from Guntherism to Banditoism. Everybody's on board with Bandito.
You literally made Gunther a smiling jokester versus that lethal killer. You kind of lose a little bit of appeal, in my opinion, for what the ring general has always been known as. We're talking about the mat is sacred. How's the mat sacred when you're the clown? Anyway,
I know one thing I know one thing Advocate will never subscribe to is Sujiism.
Yes, long live Sujiism.
Well,
there will never be Sujiism because he thinks Yoda Suji is a bum.
Well, you know what? You're going to find Yoda Suji at the New Beginning. We're going to cover in New Jersey next month. Not to mention, he brought back the most prestigious championship in women's wrestling history, IWGP Heavyweight Championship, punching its legacy and history into today. What used to be the World Championship in pushing the future.
Oh my god, I miss that title so much. That title is so oh my god, that's a fucking sexy ass title. You take that out on a date and meet your mama.
You know what? I'm not.
That's how great that damn title is.
I'm not one to say this on the air, but I agree with you, Ash.
Ash, which belt is sexier? That IWGP Championship or Ethan Page's North American Canadian Strap Championship?
Ah, shit. Damn, you really put me on the spot there. Damn.
Yes, I did. And you can't say I'll take a threesome with both titles. You got to pick one.
Let me help you. Let me help you. One title's younger.
Look at Tella. She's been on here with us for like 5 minutes and she's broken.
JJ is breaking
you seriously? I can't have one on my arm and the other on the other?
Nope.
I can't do that?
You got to pick one.
One in each arm.
You can't be Orange Cassidy with Tony in one arm and Mina in the other. No.
IWGP, always. IWGP.
Lame.
IWGP for me. You ain't going to change my mind on that.
Yeah, but she's Canadian, so.
That's fair. It's literally her nationality, What a side tangent, JJ.
Hey, I may not have had the hard-hitting questions for Ed, but I've got it ready for Ash.
Clearly.
You still even there, Nick, or did you go to sleep?
He probably went to bed.
The damn boy took another melatonin again.
Right.
Well, again, when you talk about WWE with WWE and Nick equals Z.
Okay, I thought about it, and I think I'm going with the North American one because I would look so much better than I would the IWGP Heavyweight title.
You know, this is fair because it's not the IWGP Women's Championship. I
He
respect
dropped,
that.
so he probably did doze
GTS.
off or something.
It's okay, Nick. We love you.
Oh,
Have a good
connection
night.
issues. He put connection issues in the private chat. Okay.
Oh, that's it. Okay.
Technical difficulties. At least it's not me this time.
I forgot that during the brunch last week that I hosted for you when we were talking about the future resolution outlook of all the wrestling business, and I thought it was going to be a Keep RLW conversation. So, damn. Anyway, note to self: make a sign for Nick Ferrantes in the shape of either Tim Hortons or the Burger King sign. And now back to our regularly scheduled program. Anyway, to continue, I think the only thing you got left is the lights out tag team match before we move into Impact.
That's my shit. I gotta go watch that match because you mentioned Cinderblocks. I'm like, okay,
yes,
relax, okay. It's like I love hardcore deathmatch stuff, like, but I draw the line at the Cinderblocks. When she puts the bricks in them, I'm like, okay, y'all need to fucking chill. Like,
well,
y'all
tell
need
that
to
to Swerve
stop.
Strickland, him and Adam Page, who pile drived Hobbs on top of them.
Oh god, that guy's gonna get concussed. Sheesh.
You.
Damn, like that.
Yeah, that was it. That you want to put Hobbs down for the count. That's a gnarly spot that would do it, and boy did it.
Yeah, that's why I get all iffy when the bricks get involved, because the last thing we want is someone to accidentally get shabated using the bricks.
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
Shibata wasn't there, but yeah.
If you want to see cinder blocks and bricks done right, check out the finals of the Tournament of Survival from GCW last year. Matt Tremont and Otis Koger, they laid like those cinder block tiles that you use for walkways in the entire ring, and they were fighting on those instead of the regular canvas mat.
Oh, okay.
So just imagine taking back bumps and DDTs onto that shit.
Yeesh, that's concussion waiting to happen. That's breaking bones waiting to happen.
I hadn't seen Otis wrestle much in the amount of time we had been watching. That match got my freaking respect.
And that
Don't worry, Nora, I won't sing the song.
I appreciate it. You have a lovely voice, but again, non-copyright, and also you know how I feel about the K word. That being said, I always feel fine after an episode of Dynamite because again, hell of a kickoff to the new year. It was the first time of New Year, and maximum cards awaits this Wednesday. And overall, it's just really fun. Tatilla, do you have something to say real quick, Brian, down before we move into Impact?
I actually do have something to say, and it's related to something, or should I say
Go ahead.
Doyle?
No, it's a stupid name.
You know, it's so especially since we're about to move into the Impact, it surprised me so much that TNA could never book Jake something properly. Never. And he didn't do anything, nothing of significance in TNA that I can think of.
He had a couple of good X Division title opportunities, but he just never capitalized.
Opportunities. He was never, as far as I know, he was never champion. So
he wasn't.
I hope he finds some type of success in AEW, you know, because for whatever reason, it just didn't work out with him in TNA. When he left the first time, I thought he was going to go, you know, elsewhere, but he ended up coming right back. And you would think that they would have given him the opportunity to be X Division champion, or at least tag team champions with Hammerstone or Cody Deaner. That didn't happen. His whole little stint with Frankie Kazarian, that just faded a lot faster than it did.
Right.
So I don't understand why they couldn't find something for him to do.
It's a wasted opportunity is what it is at the end of the day, Tatilla.
I mean, he's in the Callis family now, right?
He is.
Put him and Alexander together.
Wait,
They've got the TNA history.
They do, but
they do. I mean, I just hope I hope Jake something. They find something for Jake something to do, like you know, and he gets booked properly. Even if he's like JJ said, like tag team champion, or with the Freebird rule tag team champion, like just let the guy win some gold.
The Trios Championships or the AEW Championship. I mean, again, FTR were on the entrance way. Mark Davis and Jake Doyle, that would be an interesting match against FTR, because if there's one thing we learn about AEW, they can bloodline between face versus face and heel versus heel and still give you something competitive that makes sense in decision. The hell was that?
I don't know. Mic drop? It's not like a mic drop.
I accidentally got unplugged in robotic.
Affirmative, you are robotic.
Robotic. Technologic.
buy it, use it, break it, fix it, trash it, change it, melt, upgrade it, trying it, toying it, tune it. They're not copyright. They're not copyright. They're my Daft Punk
Around the
freaking kid.
world,
No,
around
not copyright.
the
Not
world.
copyright. Damn it. Not copyright. Fucking hell. You're using Daft Punk against me. That's wrong. That's
Really?
all
You like
wrong.
that? So you don't want to go around the world?
I listen to
around
British
the-
Close sometimes when I'm literally, or Ram, when I'm literally creating prediction forms. Okay, what the fuck is happening here? All right, moving on. Getting
Did you
back
ever
into
see
this.
that video? Oh my god, I gotta show you this video.
Oh, no.
It's just like okay. Are you familiar with YouTube poop?
Unfortunately.
It's like a bunch of like silly edits and whatnot.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
They did one for like 2010 songs, and the edit they did for "Get Lucky" is so funny.
Oh my gosh.
What rules the planets?
Yeah, they're about to say all the shenanigans possible across all things music, as this podcast has turned into your VH1 freaking recreation. And
Wait,
now
are
go-
we VH1? I love the 80s. I love the 90s. I love the 2000s.
Well, I mean,
What are we?
I'm the 80s guy.
I'm a 90s girl.
The grunge movement, My Chemical Romance, or freaking Nirvana, the Black Parade. Anyway, let's go ahead.
Man, I like Nirvana. I like Nirvana. Okay,
That's fine.
It
Smells like
like
Teen
How did they go from grunge to emo, Noah?
Because they both exist in the same decade. Speaking of decades, we all exist in the noughties, so let's
Well,
go
no,
ahead.
not the My Chemical Romance. That's early pop punk 2000s.
Yeah,
The
My
90s
Chemical Romance wasn't even around when Nirvana
No,
was
that's
like
what I was about
around.
to say because what you're looking for is Midwestern emo, which is
Oh, thank
things
you.
like Taking Back Sunday, the Get Up Kids,
Gangs, okay.
Promise Ring.
Promise Rings. Okay, okay,
you
hold
know.
on. Thank you for the music correction, because again, I'm 33 and I don't know what 34 is going to be for me in February. but
I'm
let's-
33 too. No, you're not that much older than me. Why do you act like you're like a whole
Yeah, you know
decade
what?
older than
Here's
us?
what you feel. I got gray hair. You don't have gray hair yet. You're a
I
natural.
don't.
All right,
I
let's
don't.
get JJ's thoughts real quick. Who knows a thing or two about hair and music? JJ, speak.
Check.
Yes,
you're
he's
good.
normal. Okay,
Okay.
good. Now that we got the impact made on his voice, let's move into Thursday night with TNA Impact Wrestling. We're supposed to be talking about wrestling, not music of a
They go hand
bygone
in hand,
era.
though, do they not?
I mean, to be fair, yeah. Again, fuck that.
What if
Bravo.
TNA
No
gets new
offers.
music for AMC? Are we not going to talk about new music? Are we not going to talk about Kit Wilson's? Kit Wilson.
What the hell is this American male Def Rebel T-Mode song I hear? From
Hey.
freaking Chip Williams.
Okay, Noah, tranquilo. Chill.
You bring up WWE music in the same sentence, I'm not going to chill. Especially in this day and age.
Chill.
Don't make me bring up the
boy.
Doki. I'm just kidding. I'm not going to do that.
Good boy.
And now on the Thursday night with
So
TNA.
so how was the last impact of the Access era?
Mid, except for the knockouts, in my opinion, as they always are my leaders. So I'll just say this. As far as TNA Impact goes, freaking WNXT have thoughts. As far as this past Thursday, I'm fine. Everything is fine. As far as the freaking TNA influence goes with NXT, since Tia Morella is a father dealing with the crisis that his daughter is dating that guy, trying to get the TNA International Championship back. Steve Macklin was on the verge of doing it until your freaking Outcast came into play. And then that freaking Jezebel raped his eyes and got him disqualified. So that pissed me off. What didn't piss me off, though, is how much of a badass Dani Luna is and how bad I think she deserves to be champion after destroying freaking Myla Grace and Harley Hudson and Xia Brookside in the process after the champ came down and was incapacitated in a sleeper hold. It feels like that right now. I don't know necessarily what to do with everything else, but the most important bit was, of course, the contract signing. As we know, on the premiere on AMC, it will be Mike Santana versus Frankie Kazarian for the TNA World Championship. But here's the thing. Whoever leaves champion that night will be defending it also 2 days later, folks, at Genesis. Now, if Frank Kazarian retains, Santino did point out that Nick Nemeth Mike Guinness can try to get a rematch. He didn't say necessarily anything about Mike Santana winning the title, because if Mike Santana wins, then that means he would have to find an opponent. But, pull the record off, here comes the most wanted man. The wanted man, excuse me, not most wanted, that's Bandito. Names, folks, nicknames. And he said that he will call his shots, regardless what happens to those two men during that championship match. So are we getting two championship matches the same night? Are we already setting up Saturday? I don't know. But the biggest thing right now is Mike Santana is do or die. Because if he doesn't win, he's going all the way to the back of the damn line. As far as the system goes, the system lost their last match together as a unit, ahead of JDC, of course, taking on Eddie Edwards in the final match of his career. Good grief. For everybody got a retirement, freaking hell in January. Dadgum in freaking America. It's crazy. So, again, it wasn't necessarily anything big. There's definitely a lot of big stuff going down, of course, on the AMC premiere. Oh, yeah, and Elijah brought a horse to go after Mustafa Ali, of course, in the Order 4, ahead of course, facing him at Genesis as well. So, again, they basically just set up the Thursday night. They also said that Joe Hendry, he will be there, and he will be doing a concert. And then, of course, you talked about the AJ Styles announcement. Again, what happened is surprise factor, but this also goes to the desperation you have of getting the ratings without the reliability or trust in your own damn roster. So I didn't see a whole lot from this show, but again, they are building towards what should be the bigger show, and that is the premiere of Impact on AMC. It was
Simply
okay.
predicting this Thursday after the premiere, 10:30 Eastern, 7:30 Pacific.
Yes. What? Hold that thought.
Oh wait, that's right. It's going to be an hour later,
That's
11:30
right,
Eastern, 8:30 Pacific.
Impact Wrestling is Thursday, January 15th, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If
Yes.
it's 2 hours, that's 11 p.m. Standard Time, which means theoretically, if it doesn't go into an overtime, then we we'll have it at. Let me get my times right. Jesus Christ.
11:30 Eastern,
Yeah. Yes. Thank you.
8:30
11:30
Pacific.
Yes, thank you. Oh, that's gonna freaking drive me up a damn wall. And then other than that, let's see.
I am off Thursday, so I will be there for the premiere of Impact, and I will be there for Simply Predicting, unless I end up picking a shift up.
Okay, fair enough. That being said, so far official now for the premiere on AMC. Frank Kazarian versus Mike Santana for the TNA World Championship. And thanks to the interference, of course, I think it was Danny Luna that got involved in that one match. The Elegance brand did get a tag win, so they will face this region again. Can I just say right now why the fuck we only have 2 tag teams in TNA wrestling right now, for Pete fucking sake? Can we get the tag team division back together that used to be the leader now in AEW right now? It seems to be the strongest going.
So you're just going to ignore the Diamond Collective, Mila Grace, and Harley Hudson?
I mean, they got assaulted by Danny Luna, so you might as well call them out of the picture to tell her. But anyway, the Inspiration takes on the Elegance brand again for the 5th time. Jesus Christ almighty.
Go Elegant brand.
For the TNA Knockouts World Tag Team Championship. And Elijah and the Hardys take on the Order 4 ahead of the Hardys dealing with the Righteous. See what I'm saying, man? Yeah, that was the other thing, by the way. The Righteous did a thing. And then Elijah, of course, he's preparing to take on Mustafa Ali at Genesis. And by the way, congrats to Mustafa Ali, as TNA Wrestling did disclose he did officially resign with TNA Wrestling. We also got matches set up for Genesis, including the Righteous versus the Hardys for the World Tag Team Championships, Flop Dollar versus Rich Swann one-on-one action after Rich Swann grew a brain. And, of course, after the assault, Danny Luna will now challenge Lei Ling Lee for the TNA Knockouts World Championship. Well, at least there's one match I care about on this pay-per-view. So, again, we'll see what other surprises, if they haven't been announced already, come forward on TNA's AMC premiere this coming Thursday night. Tatilla, as my fellow NOLA Impact correspondent, no total nonstop action. And, of course, somehow you're going to figure out how to review this now at its later time. Anything you want to add regarding the last Impact of the previous era before we head to AMC? Or did she go away to take a Liaki? She might have went away to take a Liaki. Okay, that being said, Again, JJ, like I said, I don't know what the F to expect right now in this new era of TNA. I'm going to take it with bated breath, but I have concerns, but I also have some excitement. But at the end of the day, I'm still TNA faithful. As long as TNA holds to their identity versus being a similarity, then I'm going to keep watching. But Genesis and this premiere do have me a little bit worried.
That's fair. I mean, anytime a company that you like begins a new era, starts a new endeavor, there's always going to be hesitation, but I'm optimistic. I know a lot of it has to do with my NXT crossover, and I know that's part of why you're a little standoffish to it, but I've been more excited for TNA this past year than I have been in a very long time. Between the stars that they have and had, I count Joe Hendry, Jordan Grace in that, Speedball, Kevin Knight I count in that, Alexander I count in that, even though they've moved to AEW as well. But ever since I kind of found my way back into TNA, the stars that they had that have already moved on, the stars that they still have, the stars that they've brought back, like bringing back the Inspiration, bringing back Desmond Xavier. I've been really, really impressed with the TNA product on a consistent basis. And like I said at the outset, I'm sure my NXT has a lot to do with it because of the crossover, seeing those guys and girls on my brand, seeing my superstars on your brand. But it's honestly, I've gotten a lot of feedback from people that used to not care about TNA anymore, saying that TNA is the show they enjoy the most each week now, since this started. So they got to be doing something right if they're bringing people back and bringing new people in. Whether you're 100% for the changes that are happening or not, they've got to be on the right path because they're starting to grow their audience, And we try not to look at ratings and stuff, but just looking at the way they've been selling out their arenas shows that they're on the right path, because you've seen the numbers of tickets sold going up instead of declining, to say nothing about TV ratings and all that junk.
Just don't have half your audience leave during your damn main event at your biggest pay-per-view of the year, not named Bound for Glory, and then get back to me on that. All right.
Yeah.
Tatula, go ahead and speak, because, again, you and I are TNA faithful. Let me get your thoughts ahead of this premiere. What did you think of Impact this past Thursday?
I actually did not watch Impact this past Thursday. I'm actually a little behind. Yeah, it's okay. I'm only a week behind, though. So
that's all right. I mean,
I'll
again,
catch
roads
up.
are patched. There's only so much time. It's a new year. People are changing their freaking schedules. I don't even have time to watch Collision live anymore because I actually dedicate other things like reading, sleeping, and gaming to that. Although I did watch Collision night because Statlander and Verpix.
Yeah.
Continue.
I will say, before I get to the AMC thing, I will say I've only been watching, I don't know if you know this or if anybody else here knows this, but I've actually only been watching TNA since July of 2020. I'm aware of their history and their past, but for my journey with TNA began in 2020. So I've only been watching TNA for almost 6 years now. And one of the first things that got my attention in TNA, I know some people weren't a huge fan of this, but I personally liked it just because I'm a fan of reality TV. I used to watch The Real World and The Surreal Life. Wrestle House. I actually really, really enjoyed Wrestle House. I thought it was really fun. That's really what pulled me into TNA,
There you go.
And actually, to see their progress from where they were when I started watching all the way till now has just been amazing. They've grown so much, and I'm so happy for them. I'm really, really happy. I cannot wait for this AMC premiere. I think they're gonna knock it out of the park. Have they always made the best creative decisions? No. But for every good thing that they do, I feel like they always end up screwing up somehow, but
Kind of a TNA timeline, to be fair.
Yeah, but I'm really excited. I cannot wait, and I hope that their success continues to grow, and I hope they just continue growing. You know, was part of that success was, I think, the NXT crossover, but it's a testament to TNA too. Like, even without NXT, I still think that they would have made it to this level.
Agree. Scott D'Amore and Gail Kim for life. All
But,
right.
I know a lot. I know the firing of Scott D'Amore was controversial, but I feel like he needed to go in order for TNA to grow.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Because if you think about everything that they've achieved since they let him go, for better or for worse, the last major thing he did was bringing the name back, and he was let go shortly after that. So pretty much everything they've done since going back to the letters TNA has been under Carlos Silva and whoever else. They've done an amazing job if you really think about it.
Yeah, they have. They have. I mean, don't get me wrong, we had some good stuff under Scott D'Amore, but the company was just stagnant, and look how much they've grown.
And I mean, if this is what it took for her to acknowledge some of my NXT talent, then I'm here for it.
Here you go.
Because we know she doesn't work Tuesdays. So the fact that she watches Thursdays and is still getting exposed to my talent, like, hey, something happened, right? Like, she told me the other night that Trick-in A was some of the best stuff in TNA.
Yeah, I actually really did like Trick-in A. I think Trick Williams really came into his own during that heel run.
And that's my NXT, damn it.
Noah's face.
I love it.
Me too.
Hold up. Keep that face.
Meme
this. Someone freeze frame that, screenshot it, turn it into a meme.
Not on NXT!
Noah's unamused.
Speaking of, I don't know. What do you think? Did you give your thoughts on what Tommaso Ciampa possibly leaving? One of the best, if not the best, NXT Black and Gold champion.
Until I see an official release statement, I ain't saying shit.
Okay. Fair enough.
You guys really consider him the best Black and Gold champion? Because
I said one
of, if not the best. That's why I asked, and I was just going to follow that with, granted, I didn't really watch Black and Gold, so I don't have a dog in this fight. But I've heard so many people speak highly of Finn Balor's runs that might, just off of what I've heard, be the best.
I will raise you one. Adam Cole, baby.
Well, yeah, yes. Adam Cole.
Adam Cole, Finn Balor.
Adam Cole is what made you an NXT fan, so of course you're gonna side with him.
Yeah.
All right.
You know what?
She's like, yeah, so
into it.
Oh, okay.
He's still
I was watching the first. I'll be real with you. Okay, the first time I tuned into NXT was the NXT Unstoppable show in, I think, was it May 2015?
Correct.
I did a review of it on my old Shadow Badass channel. If you want to check it out, and I can put a link in here in the comments.
Okay.
A really very young, have no idea what the fuck I'm doing. Like I know what the fuck I'm doing now. Let's be real here.
Hey,
so
you know what?
Much has changed.
Sometimes those videos are the best ones to go back and watch, because you watch it and then you watch something you do now and you're like, damn, I've gotten better.
I'm actually proud of that review. It was really good. It was just like, okay, we're just going off of vibes. You just watch the show, tell how you feel.
That's all you should do.
That's what it means to be a professional wrestling fan. Now I'm going to go ahead and educate everybody here, because that's what I do here. For those that are wondering about the Black and Gold, the most prestigious era of NXT, going back
Pop
to
your popcorn, kiddies.
Finn Balor, of course, was a record-setting 3-time NXT champion. He was one of the last champions during, of course, the pandemic era, where, of course, the Prince came back down. He did not miss. But Adam Cole, baby, his era was absolutely undisputed. Not only did he, Bobby Fish, when he actually was relevant, Kyle O'Reilly and Roderick Strong ruled NXT. At one point, had a golden prophecy where all of them had the championships. pray to God Darkstay don't get to that point because they are the definition of opposite, not my shit. That being said, Adam Cole also defended NXT Championship successfully on Raw, SmackDown, and NXT, all within the same week. They literally pioneered what War Games was meant to be when it was brought back in WWE 4 damn times over, despite the fact they didn't win every time. And of course, the fallout story with him and Kyle O'Reilly led into the pandemic of what was the last brief life of my NXT. Adam Cole literally shot the system, as the Fiend mentioned, bringing NXT to the highest promise when it really was nothing more but a developmental blend. And it kicked Raw SmackDown's ass. And I'm not just talking about Survivor Series 2019. Meanwhile, Tommaso Ciampa, you want to talk about the last time we had a legitimate heel that was not glorious. Of course, Bobby Roode will always be a standard of mine because his era was absolutely glorious. It Factor for life. Of course, one of the last things I remember back when TNA was almost dead, thanks to a certain brother and a freaking arrogant, aggravated 83-week-year-old partner. That being said, sorry, did I say that out loud? Of course, talking about Tommaso Ciampa.
Tell them how you really feel, Noah.
Don't trigger me, JJ. You've already triggered me a couple of times here, especially talking about Black and Chrome. That being said, though, when you literally are booed by an entire building with no music, and you're considered the guy that is the opposite of everything you used to stand for, when you used to be cheered the most along someone else you DIY'd with before you treasured Goldie in your own psychotic fashion, more valuable than your own wife. That's when you know you're a standard in the wrestling business. That was Tommaso Ciampa, the psycho, Cillian Psycho, of course, and he and Gargano defined a rivalry that rivaled Shawn Michaels and Triple H to a degree in a different era. That was my NXT. That's why those people, and that's why that brand and that colored standard stood the test of time and will when it comes to what NXT was always meant to be. Anyway,
correct me if I'm wrong, Noah, or maybe JA can answer this too. But Asuka and Adam Cole, baby, are still the longest reigning champions in their respective divisions, right? The men's and the women's.
And of course, Asuka vacated the title because she was undefeated in NXT after 526 days. While Adam Cole, baby, he and Keith Lee unified the championships at Great American Bash, the NXT North American NXT Championship. While Keith Lee shortly vacated the NXT North American Championship afterwards to give someone else an opportunity. Of course, that was won at NXT TakeOver 30 by one Damian Priest, Punishment Martinez at the time. So, Archer of Infamy. But yes, you would be correct. And of course, Sam Cole, like I said, did everything he could with that title in a single run. All right, now back to our regular scheduled program in this day and age of TNA, where it's slowly becoming a similarity to WWE. Fuck me.
I am going to really quickly say, just side note, since you went through all that history of the black and gold, shout out to the interview with What Do You Want to Talk About at Cody and Finn Balor that dropped this week. If you guys haven't watched it, check it out. It was really good watching them talk about Bullet Club and, you know, the olden days. So
I'm ripped to that, by the way. And Jesus, if there's not enough damn
that ditto?
There's not enough podcasts in the world. WWE got freaking podcasts for every damn day of the week. That being said, let's go to freaking Ash now to see if she has anything to land on this Impact discussion.
Oh, your ditto, Ash. Does that ditto?
Where?
Behind you.
Oh, no, those are my Care Bears.
No, over there, that pink thing. Is that not ditto?
No, that's my bat plushie. It's a bat and a pumpkin.
Oh, I thought it was ditto. It looked like ditto.
No, it's not ditto.
Let's not get on Pokemon, then Noah's really going to lose his shit.
Stay tuned for Azure and Attila and their pop culture podcast coming to a YouTube screen near you soon, courtesy of Rangers of Wrestling and Batty for Wrestling, while I'm not back for this.
I sent my old video in the private chat for you guys to check out if you want, about me reviewing TakeOver Unstoppable all those many years ago.
I'll have to check that out later.
I'm gonna
you guys start going down the Pokemon route, and I'll have to grab my Jigglypuff plushie again.
Do that, I'm going to sleep.
Yeah, we don't want Noah to go to bed. So go ahead, Ash. Talk about Impact if you watched it.
It's so funny how the promo between Frankie Kazarian and Santana was so good, but it got people feeling a certain way. But that's just what pro wrestling does. It brings out emotions. And sometimes they're not always positive, but it actually got me hyped up to the match at least. So job well done. And it also struck conversations, which were really good, actually. Some of them were very civil. I know, right? Shocker.
Wrestling fans can have civil conversations. Case in
Well,
point,
even a
this show.
Good thing I wasn't drinking water when you said that. It was bad.
Well, I mean, hey, even a blind squirrel can find their nuts. Go ahead, Ash. Continue.
Yes, that they can. Yes. Anyway, yeah, it sounds like I have to watch the knockouts, and sounds like
no.
Danny Luna's sounds like like someone to be on the lookout for. So add that on the list of women to watch.
100% Danny Luna is my favorite knockout right now.
Nice.
Knockouts champion. Mark my words. She becomes champion this year.
Oh, I would love
She
that.
becomes champion at Genesis.
Hey,
I'm calling it now.
Save that for Sid predicting the kickoff of the TNA League. Stay tuned for more on that, folks. Save that for Sid
I
predicting.
love me some Xia Li, some Lei Yin Lee, but dude, Danny Luna needs to take that shit, especially after that dog collar match.
Oh, I gotta check that out. That was that looked like it was vicious.
It was.
And I
Watch
loved
it.
it. I loved it. Continue.
And I think that's all I gotta say for TNA Impact. But it's just all right. Watch the knockouts. Watch the X Division. Watch the Santana Frankie promo off and hype in the match, and you're good.
Yeah, pretty much that's all you really need right now to really get a freaking, grounded effort into gauging what TNA is. You basically call it the key three, so good on you. All right, well, that being said, that was Impact. And as far as us colliding in FOTS, Collision, was subtle, it's the Arlington residency. I don't think anything major happened because, again, I look at what Collision is right now. Collision's like your go home or it's your continuation of tournaments. And right now, it's neither of that. So what is Collision? It's a buffer ahead of Maximum Carnage. Just call it what it is. Key thing I enjoyed, we continue moving forward with Brody King. Like I said, trying to be a singles guy. He beat Barrett Brown. El Clone, who's waiting to take on Hologram. It's Red vs. Bluetron, folks. Just call it what it is. He defeated Commander Mina. Shirakawa took on Lady Frost one-on-one and received a bouquet of flowers from somebody. Yeah, let that sink in for a little bit. And then Mark Briscoe, our face of TNT, who always gives you the word of the day. I can't tell you half of the words out of his dictionary. He beat Hechicero, so the Don Cos family did not see gold added to the family yet. The Cosmic Babes of Rap, Harley Campbell, Nightingale, Chris Statler beat High-End, Maya World, and Burt Vixen. Fun little trios match ahead of taking on the Triangle of Madness, where Thekla, Sky Blue, and Julia Highball set their eyes and sights on all the gold on this incredible trio. I'm loving this shit. Cannot wait for this trios match this Wednesday. And then the Demand. Ricochet, Bishop Consul, Leona, they defeated the unacclaimed, half of the unacclaimed, excuse me. The 5-2 player Anthony Bowens and Jet Speed who were looking for revenge, and it didn't happen. And also Skyflight lost to the Death Riders when John Moxley was on commentary. Of course, Dante Martin, Darius Martin, Scorpio, Scott Sky lost to Daniel Garcia, Paco de Yuda, thanks to Rich Fear's interference. Further, hype up the tension with Thomas Sawyer, Storm, and Shafir, of course. The conglomeration conflicted with the Death Riders. Not to mention Darby Allin trying to get free of the Death Riders, trying to beat Pac, which also is this Wednesday at Maximum Carnage. And that was Collision in a nutshell, folks. It was a simple night, professional wrestling, but at the end of the day, it was Saturday. That's all I needed. And not much more to say because Maximum Carnage has already been set. We know what's ahead. Trios match, Men's World Championship, Popper's Darby Allin, and Kenny Omega returns to the ring, and expect more of the Cleaner this year as the Cleaner looks to see if he can hold the gold one more time. Yes, one more time, him and MJF. Yes, please, because I don't know what the Cleaner's career is going to be. And it sounds like Mercedes Moné is also taking a break from AEW after eating nothing but cake. Which, can you blame her? So that was Collision. Not much more to be said about that. And that was the wrestling week as a whole, honestly, outside of SmackDown. So unless anyone actually watched SmackDown wants to talk about that, that wraps up the week.
I watched all of SmackDown except for the main event, just because they actually presented the last hour commercial free. So I knew I was going to be in for a long haul. I was watching it last night, but it got late, so I cut it. Was going to get back to it today, but I got sidetracked with other stuff. Still need to watch it. I know what happened, obviously, because the internet is the internet. So congratulations to the new WWE champion, are in order.
They actually pulled the fucking trigger.
At this point, dude, if they didn't, they may as well have just sent Drew back to NXT or to Evolve. They did this serious gimmick change. They made him heel. They pulled all these triggers with him. If they weren't going to give him the title, they just let him go or whatever. But
future endeavor, yeah.
They pulled the trigger, and I'm happy for it. And there wasn't a Money in the Bank cash in 5 minutes and 30-something seconds later to take it from him. So good on Drew. The rest of the show kind of was what it was. I wouldn't say it was bad, but with the exception of the clip of Jade and Jordan that I put in the new intro, a lot of it was forgettable. I popped hearing her say, "I'm that bitch" again, because I haven't been watching since she turned heel. I'm always usually working on Fridays. So hearing her use that bitch again, I was like, it's my Jade. I love this Jade.
About time she finds herself again and friggin' does something relevant.
Look, I liked the babyface Jade, and you can't say she wasn't doing anything relevant because her and Bianca, tag champions, great way to bring her in, great way to get her established. The thing with Naomi could have been better. Naomi getting pregnant put a serious halt to that. Again, I don't want to downplay it and make it sound like that's a bad thing, because clearly Naomi wanted to have a child with Big Jim. But for being 100% transparent and honest, her getting pregnant when she did put a serious halt to the storyline. So she had to find her footing after that. What were they going to do with her after that? They pulled the trigger. They had her beat Tiffany Stratton and turn heel. And now we're getting the Jade that everybody has kind of been waiting for in WWE. We're getting that bitch. And I'm so happy. That's why, again, when I saw that promo, I was like, okay, this needs to go in the new intro. So I immediately downloaded it off of X, trimmed it because it was like a minute something on X. I'm like, no, I can't show a minute clip.
Nope.
So I just trimmed up that little bit, You think you're special? Well, you're on my show now, and I'm that bitch. I was like, ooh, yay, give me.
He finally got an opponent that could literally bring that out of her. So again, kudos to WWE for finally doing something.
This is the best warm-up match for Jade and Bianca. Jade and the Juggernaut.
I give you that.
You want to talk about power, you want to talk about strength, you want to talk about pound for pound strength. Jade is jacked, ripped, all those words you want to use to define, an in-shape woman. Jade is that. Her wrestling ability has always been subpar. She's gotten better, but no one has ever denied her strength. If anybody next to a Bianca is going to be able to bring a good match out of her and go, strength battle with her, it's Jordan. I'm here for it. Give me this match.
All right, let's see if WWE doesn't underwhelm us. All right, fair enough.
And I don't know if Bianca's ready to go yet. Like, they're saying she might be a surprise entrant in the Rumble. There's early talk that she could win the Rumble in Saudi because she did promotions when they announced the WrestleMania was going to be over there next year. She was part of that big press conference. The Saudi government loves her. Her winning the Rumble was definitely a possibility. I know there's people that want Liv. I can't believe I'm saying this. I'd be okay either way. And I know I've put Liv down a lot, but I'm slowly starting to come back around to her because she took that time away due to her injury. But if Bianca is not ready to go, Jordan's a great backup plan. Let's go.
Well, you got the excitement out of him, WWE. Don't underwhelm him. You already underwhelmed me enough. All right, fair enough.
Well,
Does anyone have anything else to add to SmackDown?
Unless they have Jade literally walk to the ring and shit in the ring, I don't think they're going to underwhelm me with Jade, because I just love her that much. So.
I have a question for you, JJ.
Go for it.
Yeah, it kind of ties in how you were saying how you always put Chris Statlander against someone that you like more. What if they put? Like, what if they ever do like Jake Carter versus Day of Hell?
Damn you. Then we're going to have a situation like we did with Noah at World's End, where he had to pick between Stat and Jamie Hayter. And I was fucking with him the entire time. Like, you got to pick, Noah. You got to pick. You got to pick. No, I don't. I don't have to pick till Simply Predicting. You shut the fuck up, JJ. That's going to be me if they ever do that, until I actually have to make a pick.
And I will
It's a serious one.
Remind him of that every day until he does, if that match is made official.
And look, I love Thea, but I don't think she's on Jade's level.
Not even close.
I could see Thea being an Intercontinental or a United States champion. At this point in time, I don't see her as a world champion.
I do approve that Thea moves at normal speed, though, in the ring. But anyway, okay, fair enough. Again, we'll see what happens. Since she's actually dealing with somebody that's as powerful, not more powerful than her, then maybe we'll actually get some interesting match out of her. So, as champion,
And I'm hoping that's what we get at the Rumble. Don't put Jordan in the Rumble match. Let her fight Jade one-on-one. Because that's 2 more women you get onto that Saudi show. You've already got 30 women competing in the Rumble. You get 2 more in a title match. That's huge for Saudi.
The Power Rangers Rumble.
Because, I mean, you figure when they first went over there, they couldn't even have women on the show.
Correct.
So now to have a 30-woman Rumble in there, that's already huge. Then you get a women's title match too. Dude.
If it's the Power Rangers Rumble, Noah, they gotta bring in the theme song. Go, go, Power Rangers.
How many
Morphin
Rangers
Power
have there been?
Rangers. I think there's been like, not 30, because not every season had a Pink Ranger. So, like, I think like 20, maybe like 20 Pink Rangers.
Someone asked Gronk
So we can do 20 women in pink outfits, and the other 10 can be Yellow Rangers.
Okay, so this is brought to you by Starburst. Got it. That being said,
That's right. Hey, the pink Starbursts are the best.
Hey, they
I
are.
do agree about that.
They are.
Anyway.
I like Pink Starburst.
Yeah, strawberry is the best flavor of the original 4. Orange is my least favorite, but that's a whole different conversation.
I like the red one too. I like the red Starburst.
It's
yeah, the
cherry.
The red one.
The cherry can be a bit intense if you only have it as a standalone. I sometimes have like the yellow and the pink together, But anyway, like I said, if Saudi Rumble is going to be of any relevancy on the road to WrestleMania, they got to draw the interest in who we think the winner is going to be, because right now the interest for me is at a very low standpoint. They got a couple of weeks. We'll see what happens.
I just hope that I'm functional for the Saudi Rumble, because I'm going to House of Glory the night before. And then the Saudi Rumble is going to be on at like 10 in the morning for me. So...
You're going to House of Glory? I'll see you at House of Glory.
Right on.
I'm going to House... Huh?
I said right on.
Yeah. I'm going to House of Glory too.
There you go.
The match that sold me was Andrade versus Amazing Red. I've never seen Amazing Red wrestle, so I'm so excited.
Yep.
That's going to be a badass match.
La Sombra.
And then I get to see
Tranquilo.
Charles Mason defend his championship live.
Ooh, that's
Charles Mason is a badass too.
accurate.
He's a good kind of psychotic.
Yeah, there's good psychology and even the craziest psychotics in the wrestling business, folks, believe it or
Gi-
not.
Give me like tattoo version of Victoria with Charles Mason psychotic. Oh my God.
Oh, I think she said.
Oh my
I think
God.
She said.
Dude, we have that song play at my work. I pop for it every time it comes on.
I miss Tara, original Black Widow, the knockouts.
Oh, I
Things
think
were
she said, running through my head, running through
All
my
right. Well, that being said, if W ever hires Dale Oliver, maybe they'll probably actually be worth listening to again. All right. Well,
Well,
good
we have
stuff.
a super chat. Ding, 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 ding from Emmanuel.
What did he put in?
$2 donation. Thank you, Emmanuel. How many more members of the Don Callis family does it take before it gets to be too many?
Let's see. If the United Empire is being backed up by the Don Callis family wallet and not just the Sombra alone, that's Jake Lee, Hanare, Kyle Newman, Francisco Akira, Gleto Khan, all hail. Will Ospreay, technically, if he does it Kyle Newman's way. I think there's a different story in mind, Ash, you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
So that would be at least 6. And then you have...
TJP's one of them.
We don't talk about TJP.
He's a member, though.
Truth be told, you're
Why
right.
don't we talk about TJP? I like TJP.
I think there's some bad blood with him, for all I know. And also, Templario, we're going to talk about other members of that empire, so that's 7. And then you have Jake Doyle, not going to get used to that name. Mark Davis, El
Just
Clone.
call him something. Like, I still call the Staples Center, even though it's now Crypto Arena. Just keep calling him Jake something.
Okay, fair enough. I will do that. So, so that being said, Mark Davis, El Clone. Again, we're just waiting for the hologram story to be picked up. But hologram, freaking injured. Damn it. Let's see. Beach. Kazuchika Okada, Konosuke Takeshita.
2 hours later.
Let's see.
Hechicero.
Rocky Romero, Hechicero, Trent Beretta.
Josh Alexander.
Josh Alexander, thank you. I believe that's everybody in the dot. Oh,
Ryan Cage and Lance Archer.
Yep, and Lance Archer is 11. So 11 and 7 is 18.
I lost. I tuned out after like 5.
Damn.
That's probably the best approach, if we're being perfectly honest. So, yeah, 7.
7-11?
Well, I mean, or 6 or 7. So I mean,
No, Noah, don't
7,
you
8,
do
9.
that.
Why?
Tell me why. How's the Backstreet Boys go? Tell me why.
Okay, we're non-copyright for horrible.
I like the joke from Boondock Saints about 7-Eleven. He's like, we're kind of like 7-Eleven. We're not always doing business, but we're always open.
Exactly. I'm not gonna lie though, I miss those cheeseburger bites and those Slurpees. I don't have a 7-Eleven anymore. I have a Speedway. It's okay. Anyway,
but thank you, Emmanuel, for the donation.
And that concludes your math/geography lesson of the night. Thank you, Emmanuel. And also that concludes your week wrestling wrap up. So again, stay tuned this week for Maximum Carnage. Curse of AEW. I should do see your hand. What's up?
I have a funny story to tell about when I was watching SmackDown with my mom.
Go
for it.
So Julia comes out for her open challenge, and my mom sees Julia walking, and my mom's just crazy, giving her the most dirty AF side eye ever. And I'm like, what's the issue, Mom? And she goes, I don't like the way she wears the title. You have to wear the belt like you own the belt.
Damn.
And she's like, I don't
right.
like how she's wearing Chelsea's title. Like this is what it is. My mom, she does not call it the Women's United States Championship. She calls it the Chelsea title.
Accurate.
I mean, that's 110% accurate. The fact she lost it again, like I said, both mid-card titles for the women are irrelevant, and they're 1 year old.
Hey, they're more relevant than the Speed Championship.
Damn.
Speed Championship shouldn't even exist. And the fact you compare them to Speed Championship shows the bar has been set extremely low for these titles.
I will
Well,
say
he was right.
I do love how Sol Ruka would be like, I'm the Speed Champ, guys. Look at this. Yeah, watch me defend this shit.
She repped that shit with pride, damn it.
Because that was her first title she won. She's like, this is my first title, guys. It was good. I made it. Let's go.
Yep. And then a couple weeks later, she got the North American title. So.
No, she got 2 titles. Like, yeah, I got 2 titles.
Sold 2 belts.
What the hell is a belt versus a title anymore in the wrestling business?
So
All
to
right.
Noah's point, we have a busy week next week. Maximum Carnage on Wednesday, as Noah's pointed out. The premiere of TNA Impact on Thursday. Saturday is a very busy day. We got GCW Code of the Streets, TNA Genesis, and Maximum Carnage Collision, which Maximum Carnage Collision might have to get moved to Sunday because I don't think you're going to be able to do Genesis and Collision at the same time, Noah. You're a damn good commentator, but you're not that good.
Yeah, I'm not gonna call 2 shows at once. No one does that, though. You gotta be bloody insane to do that.
So
But
Maximum
also,
Carnage Collision will probably get moved to Sunday. Then Sunday is GCW Crime Wave. And then we have a break until the following Saturday. But a lot of watch-along content coming up this week, plus Simply Predicting, plus our other shows, Renegades Reviews.
Simple Sessions with Attila is coming soon, folks. Stay tuned. It's just a matter of a schedule.
There you go. And I have a new endeavor to announce as well. Ash may know about this a little bit because she was there for the pilot space. But after announcing the partnership with the Wrestle Collective during the New Year's Eve stream and everyone getting to meet Advocate, I did a space with Carlos Estrada from the collective, and we are going to turn that into a once a month live stream on Tuesday nights where we discuss independent wrestling. The name that's been thrown out there by Advocate, because he's good at naming stuff, is Hot Dog and a Handshake. Because you always hear rumors about how guys that work the indies do it for a hot dog and a handshake. There's no real money to be made on the indies. You know, so that's the name that's been thrown out there. But February 3rd, which is a Tuesday, will be the premiere episode. Again, Tuesday evenings. Probably after NXT. That way anybody that wants to watch it can watch it, and we're not competing with it. So we're probably looking at like 10:30, 10:15 Eastern time, 7:15, 7:30 Pacific time, give or take roughly. But yeah, should be fun, and you know, trying to get multiple voices, multiple opinions on there. I'm sure Datilla will never participate because she doesn't work Tuesdays.
Huh? What? Participate in what?
It was a joke. I was talking about a new live stream that I'm going to be starting once a month that's going to air on Tuesdays. And I said, I want to get a bunch of people's voices and opinions, but we'll never get Datilla's because she doesn't work Tuesdays.
Listen. I don't get paid overtime for working on my days off.
Listen.
Nobody gets paid on this. So.
What am I saying? What, you're talking to me? What the hell? What the hell am I, chopped liver?
For real, Noah does the most work, and the only time he ever gets paid is during karaoke, which he never wants to do because he's such a grumpy Gus. If he actually wanted to do more karaoke, he'd probably get paid more often.
We could do karaoke on every Shenanigans, but Noah doesn't want to. He cut me off twice already.
For real, like we can at least get back to doing it once a month, but Noah's like, screw that. That's why I've been trying to not push it and maybe do it every other month instead. You know, 6 times a year is better than 12 times a year. He'd prefer it be 0 times a year, but he kind of accepts the 6 times a year.
I just need to get more video games.
Well, sing more and you can have money to buy more video games.
I got a freaking job that will give me that money and a tax return around the corner as well.
Hey, you know what? All of us have jobs on the show. I'm just saying, you're a frugal, simple man. Take the money that you earn making an ass of yourself and then put it towards the frivolous shit.
Nah.
See, you don't really have a response for that because you know I'm right.
I also am not one to make money like that, nor
Fair
to feel
enough.
like it.
But we're going to go ahead and wrap it up here. Want to thank everybody that's joined us this evening. A big thank you to Ed Loredo for coming on, the promoter of Podermania. And talking with us for an hour and a half about what it is to be an independent promoter, booking women's wrestling, booking independent wrestling. Look for him to come onto the air more in the coming weeks to announce more matchups, more signings. Walter and I are going to be there again. While we were on the air with Ed, Walter pulled the trigger, got the Airbnb, got 2 general admission passes for all of the collective shows, got 2 tickets for Podermania. So we are now locked in. We are going to WrestleMania week. We're not going to be there for WrestleMania. Not going to be there for WrestleMania because I'm not going to sell my liver, both kidneys. I'm not selling off body organs to go to WrestleMania. The one thing we're talking about legitimately doing WWE wise is stand and deliver.
Of course. Why does that not surprise me?
Well, think about it. Out of everybody in the SRS, who are the biggest advocates of this version of NXT?
You and Walter.
And that is their WrestleMania show.
Yep.
So it makes sense for us to be there for that. I have yet to see an NXT show. So this would be, what better way to start, right? Than to go and see Stand and Deliver, see their WrestleMania.
This is accurate. And again,
Plus,
rapid follow.
Sol Ruka did win 2 Simply Reliable Studios awards. I need to try and find a way to give her those awards. Stand and Deliver might be that way. Plus, there's the WWE The World stuff that's going to be going on. So there's always opportunities there as well. But that's just so cool that he was able to pull those triggers. We are now locked in. I know we're not going to attend every collective show. I think we had kind of talked about it, potentially trying to sell the tickets to the shows that we don't want to go and therefore recuperate some of the money that he spent. Plus, he bought general admission, which I think is standing room only. I don't think either one of us want to stand for 12 hours in the venue for 3 or 4 shows. 2 shows is already going to be tough enough per day. I did standing room at the Ukrainian Cultural Center for the last GCW show. That kind of hurt after about 2 hours. So, it may just be 1 show, 2 shows tops per day if there's enough space in between them that we do. But that we've got plenty of time to figure all that out. It's only January 10th, 11th for you East Coasters and Central, I know. But for Dattila and I still here in the West, January 10th. And that all kicks off. What was the day on the Podermania? The 15th?
That is correct.
So we've got like 3 months and 5 days. So plenty of time to figure it all out.
TikTok, folks. TikTok, plan your schedule, your times, and plan yourselves accordingly.
Yes. So anybody that's going to Vegas, hit up me and Walter. We'll try to get together. We'll try to meet up, get some pictures. We'll definitely be popping into the streams that we don't actually, get to be on air for. Try and, show our faces during some of the watch-alongs live from the venue.
Mm-hmm.
But it's good to get some SRS representation out there for WrestleMania week. Man, I'm so happy. So.
There you go.
But again, thank you to Ed. Thank you to everybody that tuned in. Thank you to all the panelists. Thank you to James for popping in for a little bit, because everything that's been going on with him, that legitimately was a surprise for me. So thank you to James for popping in. Nick, thank you for being understanding about just wanting to keep it simple in the beginning. Thank you to everyone in the chat room, Safet, Emmanuel, Ryan, the Wrestlefish, everybody else that was in here. Thank you to the lovely ladies underneath Noah and I for being here. We appreciate your charming faces on the stream as always. Noah, go ahead and take us out of here as only you do.
As always, folks, it's a party of madness that I sometimes have to moderate, but more often than not, I prefer to participate. Good to have the man back where he belongs in the hot seat tonight. See what happens next week when we're once again back on your YouTube screens. Follow her when it's wrestling time at Rangers of Wrestling. That's Tatilla at Rangers of Wrestling on YouTube, the X, and Instagram, and Twitch. If you want some mighty conversation and content, don't be a dickhead. Subscribe today to Bag for Wrestling. Come part of the Techers and stay tuned for the new beginning of our YouTube channel at Bag for Wrestling, our Canadian friend Ash Shabadash. Follow me if you choose and Fox 916 on the X and on YouTube, for I literally commentate and do everything here. For I am nothing more but a simple man and a lifelong fan of professional wrestling, damn it! But also follow the Renegade Wrestling JJ Williams, who's the biggest fan of that bitch. Kathleen Studios, the Renegade JJ Williams, ROW JJ Williams, and Kathleen Studios on the X for all your movie-related content, fantasy booking, long-term storytelling analysis, and more. And if you wish to engage with the entire family here at Summer Studios, we are now on the X. So follow today at SR Studios 2024. Follow us today on the X, share, tell your friends, and follow all the affiliates here of the Super Live Studios fan, where we're looking to be your reliable source for all things professional wrestling and combat sports, and also maybe some simply reliable gaming. But until next time, as I always like to conclude, there are no winners, there are no losers, there are no betters, just fans with opinions with this passion we all share. At the end of the day, folks, support one another, respect each other, protect your mentality too, treasure your families, no matter how much they sometimes annoy you. And just enjoy live and enjoy professional wrestling. It is truly as simple as that. But with that being said, thank you so much for tuning in to another rousing edition of the weekly Mario Conversation. That is the Saturday Shenanigans. So make a pause, impact in life, and have a good night. And we will see you Wednesday night for AEW Dynamite Maximum Carnage.